So I've been dying to do this Rave Story TV podcast, and if you could have heard the past hour of conversations between the three of them, that would have been the ultimate podcast. But I've had all three of these up on the Rave Story. Paul Ibiza was actually the first person in this studio. So this is the year-long edition since Paul come in here. Joe Labyrinth, you all know how much I love Labrynth. He gave us one of our best podcasts that we had. Andrew Genesis, he's in here. All three of these people have fascinated me, fascinated you lot. They've all been here before, and it made sense for me to get these three incredible characters together to talk about a lot of the same moments in times and histories that they all experienced from their points of view. So for argument's sake, Andy come up with an event that Joe did that Joe was like, I never knew that. I've forgotten all about that, right? Then Paul comes up with, one night Genesis got cancelled and that helped me right out, and I was right on that, right? Then my mum out of nowhere phones me and goes, who's Peanuts? So I phoned these two up and go, who's Peanuts? Right. And they both start going, he used to help us break into warehouses.
Kenny Sampson.
And I thought, you know what? I've got to get these three in, because I think it's like one of the most unique things you could do, getting three geezers who used to break into warehouses, put on raves, cross paths, didn't cross paths, unintentionally helped each other if there was a cancellation of an event. And I think my first question is, I'll start with Joe.
Go on.
What is your first ever encounters of these two characters? And we'll go along like that.
Well, my first recollection of Paul was, it was a little bit before Labrynth even started.
That's right, it was.
And we had both turned up. Rat Pack used to do parties around Rosebery Avenue and all that area. But this one particular night, we've ended up in this place in King's Cross, where our office is. And Paul used to come in all the time with quite a crowd. And do you remember that Ibiza?
Yeah,
we used to do the beat as you came in a little group of people, 8 or 10 of you.
Yeah.
So everyone knew that they was coming. And I'm like, who's this? And then I thought, I know him. He comes from Tottenham, because I lived in Lansdowne Road, Tottenham.
Okay.
And Broadwater Farm was up literally down the road. As much
yeah.
as I didn't know him personally, I certainly knew who he was.
Yeah.
So consequently, that was easy. And then when we spoke, and you know when you click with someone. And we did click, and that's it. No, we got on, and that's it. And Sammy, with Andy, it was a similar thing, but a lot closer to home, because I lived in Bethnal Green. We both knew Kenny Peanuts.
Yeah.
You mentioned Cleveland Way.
Yeah,
you mentioned Backchurch Lane. All them early, before there was a Labyrinth or a Genesis.
No, that's right. It's
And
the very beginning.
we was hooked.
Yeah.
We was gone. You know what I mean? All I cared about Friday, finding the small party. Saturday, finding the big party.
Yeah.
And Andy and Bones and his brother.
Yeah,
And,
Eddie
yourself,
and
Paul,
Bones.
people like that. I mean, Bones would have enough stuff to do a party in a van. And he could turn up in a van and he'd have an empty warehouse, and 5 minutes later you've got a party, and it would crack away. And that's how I sort of seem to remember it in them early times. And like I knew Andy, we spoke briefly about Bryn and Delsky and a few other people, and Jack as well.
Yeah.
We were all round each other.
That was our little firm, wasn't it?
That period of time when it just started to break on the street.
Yeah.
There was no clubs doing it. There was no recognised venues doing it. If you wanted to go to the Sharon and Tracy place and dance around the handbag, that's what was going on. I mean, not long before that, we'd been down Gucci's and all these other places that really we'd all had enough of.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, these parties come along, and I bump into these guys and a lot of other people. Changed my life, changed my world.
Completely.
Amazing. Made me have, saying, right, I'm doing this. And then as much as I didn't get it right for a while, it was, the influence of these guys and meeting the people like these guys and the people around them. That's what set it off for me.
Do you know what was mad as well, though, Joe? This is a crazy thing, because a lot of people purely give credit to the scene as coming back from my Ibiza and this thing. And it's so, misunderstood.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is, and this is what it's very important that we get the history right, and the credit has to go to where it deserves.
Yeah.
And the warehouse thing, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, it wasn't an Ibiza thing. The warehouse thing came from the blues parties and the shebeens. It was a progression,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So when people take for granted, oh, warehouse parties, I bet it's not. The scene was from the early 50s,
Right.
where you had blues party and
parties.
shebeen, used to break into houses. In the early 80s, used to go to catchment houses, which were just empty properties, which were uninhabitable. And the warehouse come about because, as you're right, Rosemary Avenue, before Brat Pack was in, they used to do hip hop in there.
That's
You
it.
used to go to those
right,
events,
that's right, that's right, that's
and you
right.
had Ron, TNT, Rat Pack. You used to have another, not Rat Pack, a Beat Freak. You had another space.
Beat Freak, that's Robert Rebel
That's
MC,
it,
Rebel
right?
MC.
You had another space down there in
Right.
Camden, and these were the early warehouse parties because they
Right.
progressed from reggae sound system into soul blues, right? And the soul blues, this is my Cattle Estate with Derek Brolin, God rest his soul, and Bobby and Steve used to play at them, and these were the early ones. So when warehouses come along, I used to be a rare groove DJ, so I had a set, and I got in scene by complete accident. Peanuts done the first party that I certainly, put the sound in for. That was a community centre. Then the warehouse thing started. The first party was at Curtin Road, and that was a bunch of everyone, and that was
when
all involved. Whether Paul Roper. There was a whole little network of people,
Roper.
and everyone, Paul Roper, everyone was in there together. And then what happened was they had a respect for each other. So one would do a Friday night, I would do a Saturday night. I would never overlap. And then that's where we started. You're talking about the Trip was running. You had the Spectrum running, so you had spots people would want to come from, right? But where the parties were the warehouses local to us because they're all disused buildings.
Yeah.
Because unemployment was high, no one had a job, and all these places were just there for the taking. Yeah. So that thing, I remember it really clearly. And where it got to East London wasn't until about June. That's when it started
June
over there.
88.
June 88.
Yeah.
And then when it lifted, because that gassage zone was on the 6th of August. The night before there was the Cleveland Way one with Webby. That was on the 5th, the Friday. Then prior to that, the week before then, that's when they had Curtin Road. And then prior to that 2 weeks, you had Peanuts' event. And it was party after party. And London Scat come on, I think it was the 18th for the 22nd.
Was the one in Bermondsey Street?
And that was
I'm at the one in Mount Pleasant, Hackney, New Year's
That
Eve.
was ours.
89
Yeah.
to
So-
88, going into 89.
So the Mount Pleasant one, that's Lee Side Road.
God.
So how that one come,
Class,
that
man.
come
You
after.
played that night.
Eh?
I remember you playing on the decks that night.
That was one party, yeah.
Yeah, I broke
played-
it. I broke
I remember you being in front of you at that East Side Road.
Listen, Andy, I broke into that warehouse because it was my mate lives on the road. So on that night, I was going home. I saw some of these cars flying down the fucking alley, all the Beetle cars, and when all the raving colours. So I said, "There's a rave round here. There's too many cars flying down the road." So I followed the convoy. They went round the back of Mount Pleasant. I went, "Fuck me, right? Where is the whole of that road? Just like one. I didn't know how long it was.
It was
one long fucking road." I said to my mate,
that
"Listen, mate, it's a rave on your road. You must know the area better than I. Come out." He came out, got breaking round the back. He knew round it. He went round the back.
Yeah.
We got in there. Wow, it was
That was bad.
That was the
Game
best night
changer.
ever.
Game
Best night,
changer.
yeah. That was the best.
You know what, Andy? One of the questions was about the Ibiza scene
Yeah.
because I know it hasn't influenced you lot, but I want to get back.
Yeah, I'm feeling the influence.
It influenced
Yeah.
you with
Yeah.
your name,
Yeah.
but from the terms of
Yeah.
what you did in the raves, what you just said. But I want to get back to our Paul, his memories of first Joe and then Andrew and then to you, and then we'll get onto all these other things because it interests me.
It goes around. It's a round thing, because I mean, my first sort of encounters with Labyrinth with you guys now is with Phil. It's so vivid.
The first stuff was
The
just
boxing gym, the boxing
was
gym.
before Phil.
Yeah,
That was we did Hercules Road, Lambeth.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I don't even remember the reason we didn't do any flyers. But do you remember? Because we had the gangsters on us. So we had the two girls who worked in Britannia Music. Who used to give us the black bags and stamps.
That's right. Remember?
So we were doing mail outs and newsletters. So that Hercules Road party that we did with you, as much as it was mobbed, there was no flyer for it.
I know.
You did a flyer.
Yeah,
I've got the flyer.
I've done the flyer for
We
it.
didn't do a flyer
You did.
because we had the chaps on us. So I mean, we did. There were 2 nights at Black Women's Centre, and then of course Middle Road Bus Garage, which I think of all that we did, that was the best.
That was the best one.
And
That's
when we
the one
got
I
there
told
in
you
the
about.
afternoon-
The dust that
The
they
holes
come
in the
out.
floor. You remember the holes in the floor?
floor? Yeah.
Brian, I
I've
don't
got
know.
a question for you,
You got an
right?
bulldozer.
So,
That's right.
You got a bulldozer.
So, and I
Brought it off the bus
moved
garage.
all the dirt over into the corner of the building.
yeah, which you said on your pod. So you teamed up. You did a separate flyer, and you didn't do a flyer.
We had Metropolitan Wolf, and we had all the stamps. We had Vinyl Matt, his girlfriend, and then me, Sue, Brian, Tommy. We'd all sit around the table, folding envelopes, folding a letter up, stamp.
Just DIY, just doing our own thing.
Mail out.
I did
No, we
flyers.
did that
So my
myself.
lady flyers. I said, "God damn flyers." My uncle was doing.
Got us right out, Joe. I mean, the only one the one we got caught on, was Labrynth Grove.
Yes.
But that night when we did Labrynth Grove,
Yes.
we also we thought we was being smart, so we had a 7,000 or 8,000 list membership.
That's right. I remember.
With all names and addresses. We took everyone out of Essex, everyone out of East London. We sent them to Metropolitan Wolf
Yeah, right.
with a newsletter, which I've still got, and everyone else we sent to Labrynth Grove Middle Road Bus Garage.
That's right.
And that was the morning after that, when they come to my house, bang bang on you're liberty taking.
But the old bill.
No, the people,
And
and I had to weigh them off £800. That was the
Gangsters.
price.
I never
That
had
was the
problem-
price
I
of getting
never-
out of the
I never had any
Metmore
problem with the
from what we'd done
gangsters.
the night before. Yeah.
That's mad.
But Paul, any memories of Andy?
Only one I can remember. Look, back in the days, Genesis was my thing. I used to get every bloody Genesis going raving because I knew Wayne Anthony and Dave Roberts. So they're from North London. I just thought it was they was running the show. I never saw you, so I never said this is like first time I've seen you. So I just thought it was Wayne and Dave Roberts and Tony Castellano because when Genesis was about, there was also Sunrise. All at the same time, and then Sunrise disappeared and Genesis kept on going. So when I went to Ferry Lane now, because I was like, I'm starting Ibiza, I'd done about 2 by then, and I said, this ain't the same lot, this ain't the same people, these guys don't look the same at the door, the gangster, it didn't look right. So I knew it was gonna get fucking shut down. So
The Genesis thing.
yeah, it got shut down.
So where the Genesis thing come from, as you know, Joe, used to do all the parties preceding that.
Okay.
I used to have obviously the sound and the lights.
Right.
So any warehouse party in East London, I used to do them.
Right.
So effectively, the man he's talking about, Bones.
Bones and his brother?
Yeah, Bones and Peanuts, Eddie, but Bones dominantly and Peanuts. He'd brought Andy Swallow into the scene.
Right.
And the three of them used to crash warehouses everywhere.
Down Bow Flyover somewhere.
There was constantly.
yeah.
We had Bones was a great warehouse breaker.
I'm sure I remember
basically,
going
right?
and thinking, how did this lot find out about
Their
parties?
Their first one was at Marshgate Lane. That's the woodwork factory. Bones kicked off the door there. We went in there. But then what it was every other week, I mean, there was a chicken slaughter factory in Hackney Wick. They went into off on a Wednesday night one night. What had happened was, where I had the off licence in Hackney, I kept all the equipment there. And that was right in the middle of the manor.
I remember it.
Do you remember it? And my mum had the off licence. So the thing was, all the sound lighting you needed
It was there.
was there. If you needed drinks, they'd happily come down and open up at 3 o'clock in the morning
right.
and give them all the drinks on sale in return. So the whole base of what happened in East London during 88 over that, summer period
Okay,
was really down to
I've got to
that.
say that was
And
amazing.
where it happened, every single party, down even to Apocalypse Now, when Roger Goodman came the night in November, he didn't have a warehouse, and Russell Octave and Phil had done a party the week before, which was a disaster, and I was looking for where I said, try this one. It was a massive party. Bermondsey Street, Webby found that, and Eddie Reardon, and then when Paul the Siren
Bermondsey Street was something else.
yeah, when
I
Siren
don't even know
Mark
it
come
was
to
to
me,
this day.
Mark and Syrie, 2 fashion designers.
It was unbelievable.
that was the party of all
Coaches
parties.
parked up on the pavement.
Listen,
It was.
if I tell you about that party, what happened there, because they had a warehouse they lived in. They were top fashion designers. They'd be beyond their time, And they were put on this party. I met them through a girl called Tamara, who was a staple of the
That's right,
scene.
I remember.
Remember Tamara there? And she goes, Andy, you've got to meet Martin Sorry. They want to put on a party. Anyway, I went down to this warehouse a few weeks before, and I was really out there going, what we're going to do is, when the sun rises, we're going to open up the 2 doors, have a choir there, all in white gowns. They're going to sing Amen as it opens up. And I mean, out of this Welsh. Spurnoff even give them a drink to a sponsorship, right?
Remember that.
Anyway, come the day now, we've turned up there on the Saturday, there's police just all parked up outside the warehouse. And they were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I thought, hold on, Webby done a party in Bermondsey Street the night before.
That's right,
On the Friday.
Yeah, I went to that as
So
well.
I goes, I've got a place for you. So what I done was I took them over there, I think it was Eddie I called, and said, look, we're going in your warehouse, right? And then literally that party, I mean, everyone and the dog descended on that night. I mean, there was a geezer up there doing tap dancing on a crane.
I've never seen so many.
Fabio really come to his own there. Colin Dale, old Wilson, he was there.
Yeah,
it was about, it took off. That night in August, I think the scene really come alive. I'd never seen it.
I'll never forget that party.
I'd never seen it like
I was
before,
stunned.
You know?
I remember the Friday night was empty.
God.
Hardly anyone there.
There's a handful of people there.
Saturday night.
That's right. Yeah, but that's
I
what
saw
happened.
coaches double parked.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It was unreal.
It was, I mean, the size of that event, it was on different, but also the people there. Because what it done was it brought in West London. And you never had that real West End crowd come to a warehouse party yet.
That's right.
So he brought them all there for the first time. And it's funny because getting the Genesis, Paul,
Right.
I started that in the 10th of December.
88, yeah.
88. No, 7th of December, little warehouse. It was over in Aldgate East.
Okay.
Tiny little place. Completely unsafe. And we sat up in there, put the party on. Party got, obviously, they'll all come at about 3 o'clock in the morning. Do you remember Patrick?
Yes,
Patrick?
Patrick in Search of Space.
Right. So he was the centre of it all, Patrick.
Yeah.
So Patrick used to be around.
He weren't a full
That's
ticket either, was he?
Who was? I know. When the police come, Patrick turned up and Patrick's at the door trying to talk to him off his face.
That's what I'm
we
saying.
knew it was gone, right? And then we've left the party, but we'd done the first Genesis and it had happened.
Right.
And it wasn't until the week after that, we were looking for a warehouse. And then what happened was warehouse, me and Jack ran with Danny's brother Stephen had actually been at that warehouse before and there was no one in there. It was getting on this little swing and they tried to party at about 4 people there, right? But I didn't clock that we could have that warehouse. And then what happened was we then looking for the warehouse and then Wayne's come, Keith has got a warehouse. And that's how Keith got involved as the third partner in Genesis.
Right.
Because he found a warehouse,
Yeah, I remember
right?
Keith.
And then what happened was we'd done the party, but then the first one wasn't big because Delsky and Shakesy really were part of us. That's the truth.
Right.
And we were going to do a party with them. And then what happened was Keith come on board. We've done a party and let Keith have one day, which was the Christmas Eve. Then we've done it with Shakesy and Delsky on the Boxing Day. And then Tony Colsonator, who I then knew from before because I knew Tony again from Patrick and Jeremy Taylor and Tintin when an office over in Kensington, because again I was going to do the sound for them for their first event, which is Search of Space over Queensway. Right. So this is how it all started. The scene.
That's the West London.
How it started, and then Tony come in, and I said we want him because Tony I knew he was going to bring a crowd.
Yeah, Tony.
We couldn't get. So listen, we want to take credit that Genesis was the greatest thing, but if we never had Sunrise in with us, it wouldn't have been a fraction of what it was.
Yeah.
And that's what
said
it
that
done.
before, didn't you?
And it brought sound system culture because we had Mad Hatters do the back room, we had Hans do the front into the vibe. So what you had is you had a multi mix of black, white, but you had everyone. You had guys that looked like they were going to go to a dance, and you had people like they go to the West End. So it was a blend, but it worked. And then we had a series of parties there. Of course, we done the New Year's Eve, which was classified as the party of all parties because the NME rated it the best party of that year. You know, it hit all the buttons. But then the following week, when there's a no-going club land, because the first week of January is what they call Death Day. Everywhere closes. So we thought it's going to be a dead night. That night, I'll tell you now, officially we had 6,000 people. The people that broke it was another 2,000. That place was absolutely heaving. I'd never seen a thing like it in my life.
Heaving.
And then,
Did you go, Paul?
No, I didn't go to that one.
did you go to that one?
No,
I think, you know what, I don't know a person didn't go to that one. You must have been the first one. That party, I'm not kidding you, Joe, was it. When we were at that point, that was like, you just didn't think. But the mad dangerous thing was, that was one level. It had 3 levels to warehouse, or 2 levels. So we would have kept going up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know.
No, I missed that one.
That was mad. But as I said, you know, that's where Genesis we took off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Andrew, what was your first memories of hearing about Fantastic Ibiza?
Do you know what? I'm thinking about this, and I know you were doing parties because I went on my toes in '91, basically, because I decided to venture into other businesses related to the warehouse party list to sing more profitable ones, right? But the scene, basically, I know with Ibiza, I think it was Genesis. We were starting to get raided.
That's
so
right.
It wasn't the early days. So we'd done the parties up at Leaside Road. Then we didn't have a warehouse.
Struggles and them days, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The struggle of struggles.
Oh, well, it was one after the other.
Yeah,
So
I
our series
remember.
of parties, Joe, was we'd done the Allgate East, we'd done Boxing Day, we'd done Christmas Eve, Boxing Day,
Christmas Eve, yeah, I remember
New Year's
Christmas
Eve,
Eve, New Year's
and
Eve.
the first week,
When another one is
first week of
Stafford
January.
Road,
That was the 7th. Then we went the next party after that. We done a big one over
I know they was on you, weren't they?
in Edmonton, Enfield, a massive industrial estate where they've got the thing now. The following week, then we were stuck, didn't have a party, and we didn't have a warehouse, and that's when actually everyone's got it all wrong because Andy and Danny, they wanted to do parties because they started doing parties with us earlier. Well, Andy had.
Right,
and then
sorry.
basically one of the parties he wanted to do, the kit was in my kit was in the flipping police station because they broke into Bo Gus garage, or Bones did, tried to do a party in there, and the fucking police come, arrested me and Wilson and took my equipment. So they put on a party up in Suiston Road and couldn't have the party. So basically they were owed a party. So when they wanted to get involved, which everyone did fucking want to get involved with Genesis, let's face it, it was like, all right, you can have a night, but we're in the fucking warehouse. And then that's when they found a warehouse for us, and we've done a party over in, the first one was nearly where the Tesco's is now, which is by Bow Flover. Then we went the second week with them in Canning Town. And then after that, that's when we found Ferry Lane.
Yeah,
We went on our own again.
I went in that one. I went in one
And
in Tesco.
that was what happened. And that was our series. That was the first series of parties, which no one seems to care, but because the flyers are misnumbered. So when people look at the flyers, you've got chapter 10, then you've got chapter 12, 13, 14, they're doubled up. So in actual fact, I think we've done 14 parties in
I've
total.
got them somewhere. I've got the Three Young Minds flyer, the
They're-
Struggle of Struggles. There was because
They're all
one
mixed
after the
up.
other where I was giving you egg.
And some were doubled as well. Some of the actual numbers were actually doubled up, as I said. So some of them people think, oh, I think there was like 2 different flyers we done for the one in Bow because Andy had done a flyer and we done a flyer. So people presumed it was another party we done, but it wasn't. It was the same one, you know.
Yeah, that fascinates me that all of you have had events where you've teamed up with people
And, yeah.
and someone you've all done different flyers for the same
thing for the same
party.
thing. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really clocked that.
That's what we used to do.
I haven't really clocked that.
But getting back to that,
Talk
though,
to that,
I remember you coming up and that. I remember when we were sort of after, I think it was around about the time of the Bow Library one, when we were really getting the heat on us. You know what I mean?
all
From
over
the
you.
police and
Yeah,
all that.
all over you,
I
man.
remember then Ibiza was coming up because people go, oh, fuck, no, I'm going to go to Ibiza. Do you know what I mean? Right.
For me, the first one that I remember that you did, that to me, I went, fucking, what's that all about? Good Ray King's Cross.
Because that was the main.
What an amazing warehouse.
Big warehouse.
Blinding party. I remember coming out of there the next morning.
What the
When's the
fuck?
next one? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I didn't have a Scooby or that. Then I've clocked you. Then I've clocked Phil. And all right, here we go. I'm all right here.
You're
So,
safe, you're safe,
yeah, and
you're safe.
that was that. But that was Goods Way. You know, literally where Bagley's eventually popped.
I learned all my shit off of you guys. I used to follow your party, see how you lot was doing. I go,
Listen,
I'm gonna do this.
We've all followed everyone,
Yeah,
right?
we
And
do.
I'll tell you,
I'm being honest. I
who
just
we-
follow you guys.
Who we owe this scene to are the ones that started with blues parties and shebeens.
Yeah.
Well, they
And
say
that's
that,
the
yeah.
truth. I
So-
mean, we've never
they say
given
that.
credit.
Now you say
and that's
that.
what we've got to do.
Like you saying that, my old man used to run a lot of that. As a
So
kid.
you give him credit for that.
Yeah, my dad used to run blues dance. When I was a
Right.
kid in the house, he used to move the furniture.
Yeah.
I'd be upstairs as a little kid and doing the cloakroom. I was telling you the story.
Yeah.
Doing the cloakroom, nicking the money out of people's pockets. Remember? When they're doing the cloakroom. My dad, I didn't clock what was going on at the time. I was a kid.
Yeah.
So my dad was the bouncer and run the sound. So yeah,
That's how it used to work back
he
then.
would control the door. My mum used to run the bar. She run the patty and it was not right being. It was like baby sham,
Baby sham, cherry
bee.
That's
and
right,
These are the
tennis
sort
soup,
of tennis, yeah. These are the drinks that
special
were
brew,
drinking at the special
brandy.
brew. And that's what is going on there. So obviously you're right what you're saying. I emulate that. My dad's blues.
That's
and
right.
soul pies.
Yeah.
That's where Paul Anderson coming to play.
That's right. Yeah, Paul again was another party.
That's right. But
Do
Paul
you know what I
Anderson's
mean?
my bell pal.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm on all the soul parties with him. And I just kick off all the doors, go in, do the Paul got in the house. And that's how we went on. And then when one day Paul goes, do you know about this sunrise thing? I go, what sunrise thing? They booked me for a sunrise. That's the time that's when the first super DJs came along because he got £600 for an hour set.
Right.
No, it's unheard of.
Right.
Unheard of. He got £600 for a DJ set, unheard of. I went, what? They're paying you fucking £600 for a fucking day. Look, if I give you 100 quid.
And that's the mad thing as well, because back then, and the early ones, DJs were not the ingredient.
They weren't,
The
they weren't,
ingredient
they
was,
weren't.
weren't them some satellites.
They weren't.
So the thing people went to the spectrum for
it's
was the laser.
lasers,
Right.
or the production, you know.
And
These are
the party reached in the morning.
yeah.
Because, you know, after those first initial times, you know, if your party got stopped, that didn't help you, did it?
No, that's
You
what I'm
know,
saying,
2,
yeah.
3, 4.
If you had a
if your
run-
party reached the morning,
You had it.
you're the governor.
You're
You've done it.
the
You're
man.
whatever you want to call it.
You're
Yeah,
the
you-
man.
I don't
You're the-
ever remember DJs being.
No,
I mean, I'm thinking back to the first Genesis flyer or even the first Ibiza.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
The first DJs who I'm going to give them credit, who was the first one? Lyndon C, right?
Yes, I remember
Lyndon
Lyndon.
came
Yeah,
with
yeah,
us
yeah,
from
yeah,
his
yeah,
whole
yeah,
blue.
yeah, Lyndon.
And Lyndon, he was on all the early bills, right?
that's
And
right.
Lyndon was a
And I remember that name,
at the
yeah.
very
I remember
beginning,
Lyndon, I remember him
right?
very well, very well.
And then Tony was around the IB for Tenerife crowd,
Right, okay.
dominantly white crowd it was, right? And then Tony started getting a lot of work, and he started getting his name on a lot of flyers.
We mean
And then he was Tony Blair, he was becoming the main headline
Yeah.
Yeah,
DJ.
yeah, he
but
was.
then when you look at it, Cole would meet every other week because Cole had a sound system. Him and his girlfriend Maxine lived in Brighton. Cole used to sell tickets, right, for everyone, and he used to bring the sound down for £300 and play. Right,
I heard
so
about this.
Cole would play on if I had my sound was out, Cole would take the booking and play. If even vice versa, I would. So it was literally all them early warehouse parties. That's where Cole Cox really
his
took
trade.
off.
Yeah, he
Do
learned
you know what I
his
mean?
trade.
And look at Cole now. I mean, he's fair play as well because he invested
absolutely.
in his craft.
Oh, I heard about that.
And by investing in your craft, good things were done. No disrespect to Tony Wilson. Tony was selling evening standards on longer commercial road before end of 1990. Cole Cox was on top of the pops. Do you know what I mean? And these DJs now were breaking off and becoming superstars, and all the other ones were just basically left. Do you know what I mean? That's why it was a breakaway point. You know?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said what you said because now it all makes sense now. Because I've wondered how the name rave got into this culture, but the rave is a blues thing. There's
Yeah,
blue thing.
also, Paul, you could go back to psychedelic flyers at Alexandra Palace in the 70s where they put the word rave
Rave,
on as
that's what I'm
well.
saying.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah. Listen, historically,
Yeah, well,
right?
these the all-night party thing.
Yeah,
the history has to be straightened. And what you just said's right. We used to call them raves.
Rave back in the day, there was
That's what blues parties were, raves.
Rave. So when I saw the name rave, I thought it was a black thing. When I went, all white people jumping up and down, I went, this ain't right. This is not right. And then I realised,
And I'll tell you a funny one. Speaking to Jarvis, and Jarvis said,
Jarvis, yeah.
he said, we're talking to Anne, said, Dewis. He said, I went to Rave at the Cave. He said, I see a flyer on the floor. He picked it up, it was Genesis. This was early days, remember going was. And he said, I went down to the party, right? He said, I walked in, he said, and it was a rave. It's gone. This was a blues party. Yeah?
proper rave.
This was a rave. It was a proper dance
rave.
thing. It was a real thing.
Yeah,
Because he's a street man, Josh. That's what I'm saying to you.
So when you saw the
people
name
were
rave-
coming in, and when they're looking and they're coming to Genesis, it was a combination of what a rave used to be. Sound system, it was rootsy, it was underground, you know what I mean? It was a
Mixture.
Jarvis Sandy.
Jarvis Sandy.
I saw him the other week, the first time in years.
Yeah.
He was at a book launch in Pet. I couldn't believe it was him.
Yeah,
Lovely
yeah.
to see him.
Yeah.
And he ain't changed a lot.
No, yeah, I tell you.
Still the same. I forgot his
But,
numbers to this day. I follow him all the
great
time.
Characters.
Yeah,
Characters at the beginning. And when you say with like Dave Roberts and his brother Denzel, because Denzel used to do all the doors in the West End, you know.
right, that's right.
Dave, was a very trend and a good guy. And what happened was Tony was down there doing the part. He got the horrors. Because when everyone was all round us where that security firm was dominantly ICF,
Is that what happened?
he started to get frightened. So what he done was he brought Dave Roberts on board, thinking that's going to be his protection.
Wait, but part of the firm.
And then when they started to get, even warmer, Dave just thought, fuck this. And they went their own way, which is the best thing they ever could have done. Because that time we were under we had this scent that went up like that, but with what we was carrying with us, we were coming down that way pretty quick. And we did. Well, Sunrise just going up and up and up, And I mean, their parties, I'm not going to take credit for this. Warehouse parties, as we know them on a massive scale, and I think everyone would agree, were done by two organisations. That's Genesis, that's Sunrise and Energy, right? They put them on, and the height for that, 1989, that summer.
Yeah,
Joe,
summer.
and those were gold. And that's why I left it after a period of time. I didn't want to soil that memory. I thought, I know where this is going to go. And if people who haven't got the know-how or the willingness or the finance to do them, this is going to become a shitfest. And so said, so done. People were doing whereas parties that were never going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It was just becoming a whole kind of...
It weren't
the same. It weren't the same. It weren't the same.
God, and they licensed them, and then people did move across to legit, putting on the...
So I've got a question
Same.
for Paul and Joe here, right? Like, all those big raves and like all of those things that happened organically so quickly, you two are generally two people who was in that moment, and like you say, the big ones were Energy and Sun.
Yeah, but they didn't get from us.
They started with us.
They learned from us.
One thing that has always fascinated me, you two kept going. You with
Resilient.
Resilient.
Especially this man.
I'm still going to this day.
Yeah,
that's
what
resilient.
do you think made each of you outlast so many people who were big?
I just speak for the love of what we were doing.
Yeah, love, passion.
I've got to be honest with you. Up until '88, I don't know where I was. I don't know what world thought I was in. Idiocy. But in saying that, when '88 come along, as much as I get completely off it. Sometimes every day. But in saying that was it. Just like the progression of this thing that had turned up. I have to keep going. And, 1989 was good and bad for us. We had some amazing days. We had Ferry Lane, Hercules Road, stuff like that. But then we had some proper setbacks. That Paddington Bowl, we'd done about 10 or 12 grand in one night. I was ill. I was proper ill, thinking, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. But then, the last couple of raids of '89, which I think were about October, November, I'd had enough of doing that. And then the Newton Dunbar thing came along.
Yeah,
I'd done a party in there. I liked him.
Yeah,
I thought he was sweet.
Yeah.
And then he phones me up and says, "Well, I said, "Well, I don't, not sure what we're doing now." And then when I went along to see him, I had a look around. I thought, "This is a labyrinth. Like, can I do something?" And do you know what? We was up on the floor. There was no way in the world I was going to go out on Monday and get a job. So it was okay. We'll have a go at and that gave me 10 years nearly of resilience.
that was incredible. That was,
Go there to do nearly 1,000 parties in one building.
Yeah, come on, great.
You know what I mean? That set us up, put us on our way. Apart from there was shit that went with it, and there was ag that went with it, but it was no less or more than what we saw in that first year.
You know what it was as well, though, and I'll tell you what. When Newton said that he was coming to the club, because of which I knew all this lot from the 80s, because Four Races was a sound system club. The history with that,
I knew some of the history, but not all of it.
So the history with that, the history of that is, so my grandfather on the English side, he had a very good friend. He used to have a car auction in that building. He used to be a circus. Yeah,
so around the back.
So the back of it, cubies, right?
That's right.
So what happened was basically the front of it was Charlie Collins. He had a place called Rambling Rose, and then Newton come on with it. Right, and this was the beginning of the Four Races. They transferred the name from a shebeen they used to run in Highbury.
Right.
This was now a sound system club, one of the first ones. And what happened was then, they used to have, in the 80s, you had Shaka play down there, so Coxon was the president. You had Java. They had controversy because Rankin Dread used to MC on Coxon's sound system, and a Cook Report. Turn up one day outside the club with cameras and all that. So this is where the word Yardie come from. The Daily Mail stamped the word Yardie of him and a couple other guys leaving the club. And then from that day, we've adapted a word called Yardie for Jamaican gangsters, which is incorrect, right?
That's right.
And Newton basically used to have Kurt, who used to be in the basement, right?
Kurt.
So Kurt and Sue used to run a place called Hideaway, and that was like a gambling, shebeens kind of thing. That was another part of the Four Races. And then during the Lovers Rock period, Newton then decided, he wasn't Newton, I forgot the guy's name, big doorman guy.
Dorman.
Anyway, the
Is that
pair of
one-
them.
Is that the one who shot the?
He shot the girl in the leg, yeah, by accident. I'm forgetting his name
He's out
now.
now. He's out now. He's out now.
Wasn't that
yeah.
a police officer?
It was her. So what had happened was there was an incident outside the club on the side of Rosemary Avenue.
That's it.
He come out with a shotgun.
That's right.
Right, and then what happened was there was a tussle, and a gun went off, and the girl that was sitting in the guy's car got her leg blown off. Right, and that was a bad day. But the club started because of Lovers Rock. So what happened was, all the other clubs down the road, which used to be owned years ago, the Barry Brothers owned it. Everyone said it was the Craigs, which was the old Phoebe's club. It was a guy called Vin owned it, and his sons, Glenn and Danny, used to run it for him. You had Shucker play there, Danny Casanova, but that one Casanova were playing Lovers Rock, and it was becoming a big scene. And used to have in 4 races, Dennis Bovell was one of the first producers of Lovers Rock, and where Lovers Rock was created
By him.
by Louis Marks, who sang at a Coxon event one day there, right? And that was the beginning, but they didn't have a club to put it in. So then they opened up Willows. The Cube is down the side, and you had these 3 clubs in one venue. When you arrived there, you opened up all bloody 3 in 1.
Yeah, he did.
So what you've done was like properly, you know, it was life changing for Newton.
It took a while. You know, the first few months there, we had one sound.
But I'll take my hat off to
And
you
then
because
all
what
of a
you've done
sudden
was
downstairs
incredible.
become, you know, main floor, downstairs house. And then eventually upstairs trance, techno, you know, and then, bit by bit we had to do it.
What you've done there was incredible, and I would take my hat off to you for that.
I can't believe that even now I think back that
what he done.
how we lasted there because the week in,
Going
week
back to
out,
what you're saying, Billy, right?
God.
Is that it's because of my parents, really. Seeing him doing it from a kid, and I thought,
it the blood?
yeah, it's in the blood. So I've seen him doing it, and I just can continue doing what my dad's been
That's a
doing.
fact, because unless this thing's born into you,
Yeah, that's
and you
right.
may even know where it comes from, you've got it. It's an
I
instinct.
would go back there tomorrow.
It's an instinct.
Literally.
I couldn't stop.
If it was there tomorrow and I could go back and do the same.
That's to make it even permanent to me. I went into the music. I wasn't gonna stop. I said, nah, man. Wherever I stopped, but the music didn't start, and I got into the music. Why you see, you got jungle now and jungle techno.
That's what it is.
You
That's
just
his,
keep
listen,
on pressing,
that's his internal sat nav, which you've all got, that takes you to the destination.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what interests me though? You all love a party, right? And you two have got your sound system heritage, your parents and all that. But you're older than these guys, and you
Just a
remember
tad.
you remember in the 70s all the wonderful drugs you took and all the soul nights you went to, and you've got a different
Growing up,
Can't be saying club.
Royal,
You
Bar
can't
de Bar, Finchley Con,
I can see where
all
you
these
come
different places. You know, back then they were like skinhead stroke soul clubs. The one followed the other, and the first one was Barnet Char, and then Finchley Con, and then Tottenham Royal. And then it just sort of progressed after that and go with the music. And back then it was, a lot of it was the Trojan stuff.
right.
Or the
That's
Motown.
right.
Motown. Motown was really, I don't think people realise how big that Motown was. And some of the tunes from like, Doris Troy and people like that really were the inventors to me of dance music in the mid-60s when, perhaps that was when the culture started arriving here and then the music started getting made. And even now I play them tunes from 60s, 67, 68, 70, Nicky Thomas, this one, Double Barrel, all them proper old tunes that to me set it going. I mean, even during the 70s, going down Crackers. Crackers was an amazing game, amazing game. Some of the music, and then the Average White Man, and
Crackers,
and then the Lyceum on a Monday night.
Old Froggy.
Lyceum on a Monday night,
Steve
Cold
Bush.
Douglas, Comfy Fight, the whole
Lyceum,
place would be
Steve
doing
opened
that.
up.
And then with that,
Come on, man.
75.
The soul era.
That crossover there, like Fuck Mafia is talking about,
Yeah.
which is introduced with Froggy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's Froggy.
And that healed of DJs. That was where it was all crossing over from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nicky
Power, Steve
got it.
Bush, all
Got
that.
it. And this was the beginning. And in the early 80s, we saw the pirate radios. They don't come back.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So all this stuff, Billy, was being built.
Of
Not
course,
just
yeah.
turned up one day, night,
See,
and
I think what's
it was
interesting-
years of building.
I learned the whole thing because the pirate radios, with the early pirate radios back at RJR, all the black stations, a lot of them was nonsense.
Radio
I think
Rebel,
what's interesting with it, right,
Horizon,
The Rise and all the black stations. were
is
doing
like
that.
Victor.
people talk about how the rave scene is like black and white uniting all these things. With you three here, you've got where you've come through the reggae, you've come through like different decades before then
That's what-
partying. Then all of a sudden it comes to the
you merge it together.
You merge all these fuckers together,
You merge it,
and
do.
that's where all of these parties and these
That's where ideas
vibes
come, you see.
from. Because
true.
like you had your pub, didn't you, where you was getting everyone on the gear. These two are at blues parties and
Running at the same
you know
blues,
what I mean? So by the time it gets to
The blue
illegal
mentality.
parties, like I think
we was
there's
ready,
there's
we was ready.
yeah, there's something
That-
big in
that
that of why they're so good.
That was the last stop, the pickle house.
Right.
A 3-year apprenticeship in there, mate. You know, it was there was no such thing as all night. You know, you'd lock. I mean, most pubs shut sort of 11 o'clock, and we would literally bolt the door at 11 o'clock.
Okay,
And we would still
fucking-
be there at 6 in the morning, banging out the music, you know, doing our thing as it were. You know, lively in the, you know about lively in the ice bucket, all that old stuff that went on, and we would come out of there the next day sometimes, and that it was our early rave. But then, you know, obviously when the parties come along, the alcohol went out the window a bit for me.
Yeah.
I didn't drink that. I got feels, man.
Yeah,
Feels.
well,
What both of you two's recollection of doing parties on Broadwater Farm together?
Oh, no. We just protect because the farm men, because I knew him anyway. Joe used to protect. No one could trouble us on it. The old didn't go nowhere. But the playground was the car park.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you see was the playground.
Yeah.
And that was packed of cars.
anyone coming in there, you would see it right over
Right
the back.
there, you see it in the corner. You see it.
And to be honest, it wasn't that. It was quite a while after the situation, the riots.
You're right.
But
well,
because of that,
that's before. That's afterwards.
but then once that situation, there was no way in the world they were even going to come and look.
No.
They wouldn't even come in there and say, "How are you?"
No,
You know, because it was like, no.
The whole school. I had a whole fucking school.
Yeah.
It was a school. The Black Woman Centre was a school. And we had
Yeah.
I think we took the whole for the school. I with the caretaker, didn't I? So I said to come on, we can sort out. We're good. We had the caretaker.
You know what I was smiling for? I didn't realise that Joe was doing parties you over on the farm.
Yeah, Broadwater Farm.
So not only did he go to the Four Aces,
Yeah.
right, which was the epicenter of black music, right, and you know rawness, right, in the whole of Hackney and Stoke Newton, he went up the road as well to the Broadwater Farm.
Was we conscious?
Because I knew the farm boy. They wouldn't. I knew the farm
This
boy.
guy
So
goes
I said-
faces back.
and he
You can't even go.
I said, leave Joe alone. You can't trouble Joe.
Do you think you was conscious of that? Like,
I never
mad.
used. I'll be honest. I
He's
don't
mad.
think it ever crossed my mind.
It didn't bother him.
yeah, no,
I
but
don't,
what?
you know, I would have a fight with someone if I had to.
Yeah.
I
I
will.
told them lot leave. So what they were doing, they were protecting us. They could leave us and leave Paul and Joe alone because we can make some money.
Because you
So they left us alone.
because you hear all these stories of like whereas he's being taken over by other people and all that, and you
No
lot
one
are
was
just
travelling
yeah, exactly.
Listen,
Subconsciously, Joe knows I need to
King's
fucking
Cross-
go with Paul.
King's Cross, right? Someone's pulling out the wires and chopping the wires and that. I don't know if you remember Pauline, the bodybuilder.
the girl who passed away.
Yeah,
still there around.
She's
Yeah.
comfortable. Right? She goes, Paul, I know who's doing it. I go, tell them if they keep on doing it, they're not coming out of here. Terms the Broadwater Farm boys. And they ain't fucking coming out of there. And that's it. The sound didn't go. No more wires. No more wires.
You say that though, right? I remember when we used to do sound system, right? And I remember we used to hire little places. There was a place on Chatsworth Road, guy called Bugley used to have a domino, right? £60 we used to pay for it. Balled over the top of his back garden. We used to have a domino hall in there. He used to rent it for blues.
Okay.
Table across the door used to do like £3 admission. Type and all them would tell you, Carl and El, shut up and dance. We all started together from 15 years old, from kids, right? And that place was the beginning of every one day we just do clashes. So we played Trends, we played Fat Man's Ute Sound there one day, right? Kids were going and stabbing the speakers out, right? And cutting the wires. That was a thing, a competition thing. Anyway, in the sound system culture. So when you're telling me about cutting the wires,
That's what they were doing, cutting
just
the
brought back a
wires.
flashback.
And
Do
then
you know what I mean?
she goes,
That was rivalry in promoting. That was rivalry, standard thing.
leave
Do you know
us
what I
alone.
mean?
And left us alone. That was it.
What were the parties like, Broadwater Farm?
They were good, man. They're fucking good, man. They were good.
You never knew about them.
Didn't even think, when were you doing them?
We've done them 89.
Oh, so I was still about then. I wasn't.
Summer, all this through the summer.
The first one was April '89.
I didn't have a clues over there.
The other one we did, a bigger one at Middle Road, was August '89
That's
when we
right.
tricked the gangsters.
That's
And the two was in the middle, probably July, that we did at Broadwater Farm.
What's tricking the
Found the
gangsters?
photographs.
What's tricking the
Really?
gangsters?
tricking the
I'd love to
gangsters.
see
What's
those.
tricking them?
Well, no, we did the mail out, and we said,
right, yeah.
everyone in East London got the East London party in our office
Dean
at Metropolitan Mall.
Right. Okay.
Everyone else we sent to Labrynth Grove.
Yeah,
And that was the meet at Labrynth Grove.
Yeah, Labrynth Grove. That's right. That's right.
You know what as well, Joe? I'm really surprised as well that he went through the stick he got, because Joe, I know you're a Tottenham supporter, that probably didn't help.
yes, it didn't help, no.
But the reality of it was, Joe was part of us. He was part of that thing. Do you know what I mean? As I said, he's the last person anyone should have come on. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what you were doing around us all was like, I tell you, a lot of people, and Joe was the brand. Joe was Labrynth. He was a nice guy, and that brand was followed as Joe from Labrynth, and people would support that.
Remember
as I said,
when we got shut down at King's Cross, and I came over to you at Labrynth Walk or Labrynth, the march.
Lambeth.
Lambeth.
Yeah, the arches. You remember the arches?
Yes, I do. That's Hercules Road.
Is that what Hercules Road?
And I've got photos of that as well. Loads of them.
Have you?
I've got photos of LSD with hair. Untold pictures of lots and lots of things. Jim the Music Man, do you remember it?
Yeah,
Jim the Music Man. And I sent a picture to Roy the other week. It's a long time ago.
Roy and Eddie.
back in the day.
So I remember his first, Roy's first Labyrinth was Rona Rooms.
Yeah.
Rona Rooms, Acne Wick.
Yeah.
No, not Acne Wick, just at the back of Dalston there.
Tyson Road.
No, I'm not talking about. There's a school next to it. It used to be a wedding place, Rona Rooms, Shacklewell Lane.
Shut Lane.
Used to be a wedding thing.
Yeah.
And the last two that I would say was illegal that I did, it was also in Shacklewell Lane. We did Marlene's, the Green Man, because she had that hall out the back.
Yeah.
And we did two in there, and they come on, both of them. And that place only held 200 or 300. And to me, that was like, you know what, you got to turn this in. And that was the last, what I would call illegal that I ever did.
Yeah.
That's your good.
Then after that was when the phone call come from Newton about towards Christmas. Went to see him in January, opened up the end of January 1990.
I remember going there too.
And bag. I remember what
Never thought I'd last that long.
Well, I don't know if you remember. He was there years.
8 years. 8 years solid.
I'll tell you.
were there.
Every Friday.
I'll tell you one of the funniest things ever.
Don't see you guys.
He was there, and he was there 8 odd years. I'll never forget. In 1997. When did you close?
98.
1997. A friend of mine, guy I knew, Barry McIntosh, used to put on very big R&B shows. But early days, Snoop Dogg, Blackstreet, real thing. We had LL Cool J. Anyway, it didn't have a venue, and it was like, it's a big ticket. It was New Year's Day to put the event on. So where can we do it? And I thought, let me ask Newton. So I went down there. Anyway, I got to Newton. I said, listen, we're going to, on a, last minute thing, going to put on LL Cool J, New Year's Day. Anyway, Newton, you remember what the place was like? His office. So when you went to the side of the stage, you went up this little tiny stairs. You went into this room, which was a little dark room, all candles. But then it was like something out of James Bond. You had this wall, which was a bogus panel. He used to open that up. And it was a secret door.
Yeah.
And then when you went there, then you had a stairs that took you upstairs to where his room was. But then through there was another trapdoor because it was a circus, remember, yeah? And he's took us into this place. It was absolutely massive. This is where the circus was, right?
Yeah, that's it.
But the place, it was wrecked. You hadn't been used for 100 years, right? So he's said to me, you can do it in there. Anyway, what? The geezer I was with, Barry, he was so adamant because he wanted to bring a little Cool J. He's walking around and really considering it. Anyway, right? I was going, well, I said, I suppose you could patch those, you could cover black hat sheets and cover that down.
Right,
and he's convinced himself, getting one of the biggest artists in America, to play at the back of a fucking squat, effectively. So anyway, Joe was there. So we would come back down and put the idea at the Joe was scratching his head. He's gone. He was on a big New Year's Eve party he was having. Right, that was probably the biggest Labyrinth one because it was going to close that year. We were planning on putting the biggest R&B event, New Year's Day, on Dalston. He's just gone, the whole of Dalston will be closed down, Andy. Right? He would have said you. And Newton's thinking, licking his lips, thinking, money, money, money. I'll tell you what. And I left there and I thought to myself, yeah, he's right. Not only when it's a death track, the whole of Eastern will be closed.
That, you know, that massive space.
The massive bit.
We did one was a birthday, and then the end party. And that end party, we said we don't care. We're just going to open the front and back up.
Yeah,
wow.
on the back.
I don't remember. It was unreal.
It
was dangerous,
mate. But that place, people had no idea how big the Aces was. It was a huge building. Do you know what I mean? I said there are five.
We were running two. We were running the 4 Aces at the front, and what was Cubis. We had 5 sound systems going at the same time, and that great big area at the back that you saw.
Yeah,
that was the chill out.
Yeah,
that was the chill out. We just opened indoors. I don't know if you remember, there was hundreds of rolls of carpet all around the edge.
That's because the carpet shop used to store us stuff over there.
We just let people get on with it. And I remember the next day someone turning up and saying, "Can we have some carpet?" Take it.
When you think about it, those were mad days.
But how many different ways he had out of it? I mean,
the escapes, he had one through the kitchen.
We had 2 rolls.
He had where the bar was at the back. I remember one day we had an incident. There was a talk about in the book where it ended up torturing someone in the basement of that place, and Kurt was in there one minute. He was gone the next. There was an escape route through the back of the bar.
Raids. I don't really remember from Newton. We had 2 raids. One in about 93 and one in about 95. And on both occasions, they come in, went straight to Newton's as well.
Yeah.
Got that door open.
Yeah.
Couldn't find Newton.
Gone.
Newton's gone. I think he's gone through his trapdoors.
It was about, because it was a circus, there was about, and I spent a lot of time in the club.
Okay.
There was about 12 trapdoors out of there. Even under the stage, you know your stages to see.
Right.
Out there, under the stage, you could get out onto the street from there as well. I mean, it was a labyrinth, really, wasn't it?
It was.
You think about it, you had the right name for it.
And the garden, people didn't even really know about it. Once you showed us the garden, you've got a garden. Where?
Yeah.
And then he's took us down the stairs that go.
And it had significance as well, because that's where Charlie Collins had the for his kids that died in the New Cross fire. He had little trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once we did that, once we sorted the garden out, that changed things a lot. That was something else. That garden, people loved it. Yeah. And I'd say even now, thinking about it, I'll get excited. I just wish it was tomorrow.
In the right place at the right time for you guys, definitely.
Well, you should come back. You should come back, Genesis. I think they should come back and do one. Thinking of it?
Don't know. I think I'm too old for that. My sons could do it, though. He's the right age for that. I think it's a young people's thing now.
That's what you think is a young people. We need people that experience to run their fucking
Did you all enjoy? Sorry, Paul.
It's all right, go on.
Sorry, mate. Did you all enjoy the cat and mouse of the 88, 89 scene? In hindsight, you talked about him coming back doing raves and him saying, "I don't know, a bit too hard."
No, but
because you're still doing it.
Yeah, because I think you should. You need people like you in the game, and people like you because what I see now, and they often don't know what they're talking about. They talk shit basically, and you weren't there. I was there. You wasn't there. You done. I mean, people like Joe, people like yourself, people like me. We create this thing. Why you're raving today, as it is today, and then when we trying to explain to you how the thing goes, that's not how it goes, but that's how it went.
I think the very most important thing in terms of what I want to be able to do is document the history properly.
Yeah.
Because if we lose it, and people don't understand it, or people just make loads of lies and fabricate things and create their own narrative, you're going to lose stuff here.
Yeah, you will do.
Which is priceless. And we owe our next generation, the next one after that.
People get forgotten.
Come on,
right?
You can't do that.
That's right. You mentioned Patrick of all the characters.
He should be in every book.
Oh, absolutely.
He should be in every documentary.
There are loads of people done a lot of things behind the scenes or not being recognised.
We had our thing, Tabitha, the girl we used to do our door. Tamara, all these people,
loads of people.
all the West End, Andy, all the East End lot would not have got in the West End, would not have had all the contacts we had if it wasn't for Tamara there. Right. I'll tell you that 100% now. And anyone you speak to will tell you that same thing. Do you know what I mean? She brought West End to East London. All the DJs, she knew them all.
Prior to from over there, that would never have happened.
Yeah.
That peace, love and unity wasn't there. If you was from West London, you stayed there.
You stayed with that side.
You didn't go to East London. You didn't mix with East London people. Why would you do that?
I never came out of North London. I never came out of Tottenham.
But that's what I'm saying.
I never came out of Tottenham. It's only the ease and all that. The drive for me with venture out, so I've been.
As a kid, I was a rarity. I lived in Tottenham, but I would go balnear. I would go all over the place, Archway.
But you wouldn't go. But we wouldn't go south.
That's right. Well, it was just how it was then.
Now I'm in south.
It's mad, isn't it? But
live
think
up there.
about it though. There will never, and it's really, really sad because young people, they will never ever get an opportunity to experience that.
No.
And when you think about
a
this,
shame.
right, and this is now things, I think you get 5,000 or 6,000 young people, right, from all different areas, all in one space, right? Yeah.
Don't know no
And
one.
there's not an incident.
Yeah.
Now, kid can't go out of that think they're getting stabbed. You can't even go across the road without crossing over the wrong postcode, right? These are things, and even the whole integrity level of it. I mean, if a girl was wandering around, lost, yeah, she'd be taken home, you know what I mean, not troubled. Do you know what I mean?
Looked
People look after. There was a whole integrity then about how people operated, you know? And it's really sad when you see the kids now. They're just not going to experience that. You know what I mean?
Never.
And it's a horrible thing, seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
We're sitting here, we don't know how lucky and privileged we
massive
were
change.
to be part of that.
And the drugs and the drugs.
And the drugs.
Andy, what about in COVID when kids were just turning 18, 19 and they couldn't go out in that point in time in their life?
my son.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Out of college because of that. I didn't get a good experience. I was cooped up in my room. So his experience at college wasn't that great.
yeah, by staying at home. Back to the you two promote now. You're saying now I'm too old. I want to talk.
No, he should. He should.
But-
He should.
I think you should.
I think he should.
Without that,
Because
Genesis was the governor.
I'll help you anyway, but Genesis was, to me, was the pinnacle.
The governor.
Yeah, you were the pinnacle, bro. Don't
Yeah.
listen to anyone say you were the I had to go to Genesis.
I would avoid their nights like
When Genesis,
no way, you know.
I'm going. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if I'm out of my head and I don't know what's fucking going on. But I know I was after Genesis. This is Genesis. Genesis Rave, yeah, Genesis Rave.
Genesis, it had what,
Come on,
what
man.
Genesis had was, as I said, it brought everyone together, and it wasn't bringing people together as just everyone. It brought people from all corners,
it did,
people who had no
it did,
right
it did.
being in a warehouse
It did,
party.
it did.
Do you know what I mean? Were there and behaved themselves as well.
did,
You know,
it did,
and that was a.
it did.
You know, to be honest, Sean, when I really wanted to get back in, I looked at the parties are finished, and that's why I done Reggae Sunsplash. Because
So
I
you're the
thought to
reggae
myself-
splash. You sure you're the guy behind reggae splash? That's why I got the name. That's why I call it Jungle Splash.
Okay, right.
I'm running
Thanks
the
for
back
that.
off of the reggae splash.
Right.
Well, then.
So that was another thing for me, Joe. When I decided I wanted to really get back in the game,
So you're the reggae
I
splash
couldn't go
guy.
back to doing 5,000, 4,000. It had to be 50,000.
Right,
But it's
right,
always lifted a
Yeah,
level
yeah,
up.
level
But I
up.
wanted to stay in East London. That's why I done Victoria Park.
Gotcha.
Because the whole meaning was, it was all about doing things, all about doing bigger things and learning. And, you know, that's all I've tried to do is learn. Because remember, I started as a sound system man. So when you start with a sound system, you want a better sound system. You want to compete with sounds. As an 18-year-old, you can't compete with Saxon. You can't compete with Shaka.
So you
you
can't.
can't compete with Unity.
Yeah, back
But you
then.
can come back and you can put on the biggest reggae event that possibly exists with the artist performing that was singing on those records that you was playing. So to me, having Marcia Griffiths, having people like this in your company and you're promoting them, that was my pinnacle, do you know? And that's a hard, when you set them standards, it's very difficult.
he wants to do it really. He wants to.
He's talking about it. He's passionate about it.
You
he's
never
got-
know.
Yeah, you're passionate now.
He
It's
knows.
in your
You
blood.
never
It's in your blood.
You,
It's in your
you
blood.
never know. You
It's in
never
your
know.
blood.
You
It's in
never
your
know.
blood. It's
You
in your
never
blood.
know.
So Paul, promoting now, like earlier I said about did you enjoy the cat and mouse? What's the difference with promoting then and now? And did you both enjoy if you did an event? It was easier then.
Yeah, it was easier then. It was easier.
It was
then.
to a certain extent.
Right. How mad is that?
I don't even remember, Andy, there was two boat parties that came in at the same time. I think one was a fella Robert Darby, the other fella was a fella Leslie Jones, and they both got 8 and 10 years.
Yeah.
for doing a boat party.
The Marchioness.
That was
What, he had 10 years in prison?
yeah.
Was that the Marchioness?
No.
Well,
it was a
well-
boat. There was two boat parties. I don't know where they'd been or whatever, and they came in at the same time, and they was on that Thames.
That's right.
Right,
And then someone died.
They
Someone
put them
died.
both in at the same
right,
time, and
that's
they
right.
nicked two fellas who were like us promoters.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember like the trial where this poor fella Robert Darby got 10 years.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Hold on. How many people died?
No one. No one died on his boat.
10 years for a party.
10 years and 8 years he's lieutenant.
I left at the right time.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he done on the fucking
I
team.
remember seeing that and thinking,
I left at the right time.
No, he done on the
no, I'm
team.
just sure. Oh, no, can't do it. No. And, you know, I think that was another part of, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
right.
a good enough reason.
This ain't gonna last
See you
forever.
later.
He did.
And,
Yeah,
you know, the
did.
4 races weren't such a bad decision then.
That
No,
was,
he did.
That was a
He-
blinding decision.
Paul, why do you say it was easier then? Sorry.
Because there weren't so much interference with the Facebook, internet, this, that crap, one media, one fly, this goes one way and that's it. Didn't go here, didn't go there, just went one way. Now, you gotta go away, you gotta go away, you gotta go away, you gotta do so much things.
I'm looking for it last night at Meta business pages. Leave me out.
Right, so they gather
How
all that
much?
information. Once the information is just one source, that's it, just one source. So he was a man one time, then it was me, then it was Joe, just one source. Then it keeps on moving.
Yeah.
Just kept on moving. Then it'd be Jarvis, then it'd be Joe. It's just the source, and then boom. Then
And I think we're a bit naive as well to what was really going on behind the scenes. Because we were having little things and all that, but the bigger scope of this was that remember what the culture was like in 1987, 98. This was a pub culture country, right?
Yeah,
So everyone goes to the pub, they
right.
spend money on drinks,
That's right.
they stay there until 11 o'clock,
1
they
o'clock.
kick out, they go. A nightclub goes on maybe if you're lucky till 2 o'clock, right?
Back then,
They
back
spend drinks
Yes, back
and they go. But the people behind it are the breweries. Yeah, these are the biggest people that earn the most money. People were buying this at parties. Water, right?
Ribena.
Drink was not being sold,
Yeah,
and it
Ribena.
couldn't be market advertised
Fuck them
because
up.
the marketplace
Fuck
was
them
us. We were the marketplace,
fuck them
right? So don't for 1 minute think that it was a coincidence that all the parties was closed down, and a couple of years later, the licensing laws changed that you could have pubs open till 6 a.m. Okay, the concept was to get them back on drink. Right,
Get them off the
so
water.
let's get the if you really want to dig deep into it, it's always a bigger agenda. We are the small people, but what we've done was so dangerous to them because of the numbers. Young people getting together and talking and on the same level, it really does cause people big problems. You know, people that don't want you to have that, you know, that unification. It's dangerous in their eyes. So, you know, without conspiracy theories, you just got to put just for 1 minute, you think about that. You know?
Yeah, I do think about it.
Yeah. Did any of you ever go out of London? Obviously, all London
I'm
promoters.
London-based,
Did you ever go to any events out of?
I made one fateful mistake. We did a party in a place called Godstone. And we had a decent lineup, you know, a very good lineup as it happens. And then on virtually the week leading up to the party, we find out it's the same day as the First World Dance. And it's half a mile away.
Jesus.
Like, fuck you up.
So we got slaughtered.
Yeah.
You know, we had about 1,200, they had about 7,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought, you know what? I won't do that again. I'll
stick to it, you know.
keep my head down. And that was a lesson learned.
Hartford with Rob Playford.
Right.
I remember.
And not even raving. Not even raving.
No, not even raving.
Not even
Just
raving out of
stayed in London. I'm a Londonite.
Went to all the sunrise, all the energy. Do you know what I
here,
mean?
it was
Went to
here.
all the events.
He was here.
Doing them, they was there.
In London.
Our parties were East and North London.
You know, that's it. Let's go.
But you did one with Rob Playford.
No,
with
when
the
I
chalet.
went out down Hartford where he's ends and done
Yeah.
where the British Air Force or the British Airways.
Right.
The one of them, what they call them, canopy things, you know what I mean?
So just stayed in London all the time, putting on events and
I'll give you
raving.
a joke, right? There was a time, me and Phil, there's a guy who was going around, I got a warehouse for you guys, out in the stick. The Phil goes, Paul, I don't trust that guy. I go, let me try to, Phil. Go, you two, but I don't fucking trust him, Paul. So I'd done the rave with the guy anyway, we done it out in the sticks. But what happened was, he goes, meet me in the car park, the guy. He goes, so he goes, meet me in the car park. I said, no problem, what car park? I go, near the venue in Hartford. As I was driving the lorry at the time, I was driving the lorry. So I was driving my big lorry, driving, but I could see above, so I could see down in people's cars. When I'm driving into the thing, past his van, I'll be all lined out. Fucking lined out. The whole Bill, because all lined out in the fucking van, like they all like, there's fucking old Bill in the van. I was some girls that had the drink, I had the drinks, right? So I'm like, it's old Bill in the van. So what the fuck's going on in here? So we've been locked this shit up. Anyway, I drew over to the guy, and you go, yeah, the warehouse is around there. He had a drink, but he drinks a really little sheet over it. What's that? Ain't no fucking money there, a couple of quid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm fuck got a lorry full of drinks, you got a little van. So I know who's part of it. I said, let's go with it. Let's just go with the flow. So I went with the flow. Got to the warehouse now where they're meant to be. Old Bill's like calling it all off. We nicked the promoters, they're all being nicked, everything's going, no fucking pardon. I'm the promoter. You ain't fucking nicked me. I'm here, I'm standing here. But I didn't say nothing. Old Bill, set up. I said, phone Phil, set up. Old Bill, the whole thing's a set up. I told you, it's a fucking set up. I told you. So he went and called the geezer again. Let's have another meeting. He called the guy like came. And beat him up. Beat the geezer up. I never saw that geezer again. He goes like,
It's mad though. You know what? Because it got to a stage.
Yeah, you don't know
Remember
who's
at the
who.
early stage, the police were completely naive.
You're naive.
Right? I mean, the owners was naive, right?
No one knew
Because
what was going
you
on.
got to understand, at the beginning of this, the concept of anyone getting their head around of breaking into an empty warehouse and a load of kids dancing all night was a hard concept to get your head round in the late 80s because it wasn't done. And I remember, I mentioned it on the last podcast. You know, first time we ever got keys to a warehouse, and this was by the grace of, we're in the warehouse straightening it up. I got the guys cleaning up and all that. They're sweeping up the place. I went boom, boom on the door. When the door's banged, I've walked up to it. It's two big glass aluminium frame door. There's two police and a geezer with a cap like you got 'em, right? So I can't go nowhere. I walked up as I pulled the door. They grabbed my arm and they've gone, right, you're under arrest. I thought, oh mate. So they yelling me into the thing, right? Anyway, everyone's sweeping up there. They've seen me with the police. Everyone's shit themselves, right?
You're the main
So I'm
man.
going, what are you doing? What are you doing? So they come to me, you're under arrest. I said, what are you breaking into? This is my dad's warehouse. The owner now has looked at me and gone, what do you mean your dad's warehouse? This is my warehouse. He's stopped and paused and gone, are you Mr. Jenkins' son? Because I know the warehouse is up for sales from these, because I've got the kids with the estate agent, right?
Gotcha.
So I've gone, yeah. So he's gone, you're not supposed to be in there until next week. I've gone, yeah, but we've come to clean it out, I said, because he's got people that, going to have inventories putting out. Geezer's gone to me, he's triggered a silent alarm. Come with me. He's took me into the alarm thing. He's given us the code to the alarm. Turn it on. Turn the alarm on and ran down a number. The two police is looking like that. They're gobsmacked, right? They've gone, so he's supposed to be here then. He's gone, yeah, it's hospital. Warehouse off me. Right? So anyway, when he's gone, they've gone out the door. I closed the door. I think, can I believe what has just happened? I cannot believe what has happened. Then the night, of course, whatever it was, it's gone off, mate. The party was fucking, it was going full on. And then what happened was, people was mobbing to it, but straight away, the police then knew, as soon as that party's going on, I've blagged them face on, and so they've called the guy I was wearing, he's got out of his bed, he's in his pyjamas. I looked off the top, I could see him with a police cop, with the blue police, across the road, in his pyjamas, going mad. The police were at the door, and we had the door firm was a strong firm, we had a door, right? So they're at the door now, the police are saying they want to see the promoter, but they've got my face, haven't they? So I can't go nowhere. So we stuck him out to the front, obviously, you know what I mean? Anyway, so he's gone out there. Anyway, so they've grabbed onto him and said to him, right, like, are you the promoter? Of course, we stuck one up for that reason. He loves to talk, so it's to throw him out there, right? So anyway, they've gone, right, we're going to hold on to him, but we want to go inside and have a look. So anyway, I thought to Matthew was there. I said, listen, you have to let him in. Do you know what I mean? Just let one of them walk around and see. Hopefully, we'll still let the party go on. And when the cousins come in there, you see, there's about 400 people we had in there, Joe. Anyway, when he's looked at it, he's gone back outside. I'm like, right, he said, I'm coming reinforcements, we're going to arrest everyone in there. Anyway, so I've gone back in there. I thought, we've got to close it down. And still got silly bullets at the outside the police car, right? So anyway, he comes back, goes to Paul, who was with the Mad Hatters. I've gone, listen, I said, I think we're going to have to close it down, I said, it's a big one. Anyway, oh man, one more record. So we put the record together. The police is outside, and he dropped Kihara and Let Me Love You for Tonight, right? As he's put that needle down, the place just went absolutely mad. When I've seen the police beyond that, and then they see us kicking back up. You knew they were going to come in. I mean, everyone at that warehouse would have got the granny kicked out of them. Do you know what I mean? And we bolted out. But I thought, how could you have the audacity to front owner, man that owns a warehouse, plus 2 uniformed police.
We had to do it.
We had the gore to do it.
We had to do it. I've done it enough times.
And got away with it. Do you
I've
know what I
done it
mean?
so many times.
For a short period of time.
Come on, I'm a black guy talking to old Bill. I have to be straight to die. I like your temperament, mate. If I can go on. That's what I just do. I
Man.
have to fucking blag it. Old Fords.
Unbelievable.
I had a church, Old Fords. I got banged up. Remember I told you I got banged up and I came out. But when I came out now, Daniel Wignall and that fucking, what's his name? The doorman. Right, when they done that thing called 0-0, done a fucking party. Right. So when I done the Old Fords, right, I got Old Fords. Ibiza's back, but I got banged up. And my old bill mostly goes,
Where'd they do 0-0?
down that fucking Old Ford. I'll show you what happened. I'll tell you in a minute. So I got banged up. No one knew I was come out. No one knew I was out in November. I came out in November, right? 89. Gone in 89. I came out 89. Right. I've done my little 6 month, got my head down, got my jam roll, got out. Don't tell no one I'm out. She goes, because that time, Danny was doing the raves on the Ibiza. They're doing raves. Well, I think they're fucking doing raves. I'm in there. No, where's my money? She goes, don't tell them I'm out. Anyway, I came out. I goes, right, I'm going to fuck the whole thing up. Went and looked for my mate. Look, I need a warehouse. She goes, I've got this place down in Old Fords. You want to have a look at it? I'll have it. Fuck it. What is it like? 2 for a year, you can have it. I went over there, look, yeah, I'll have it. Took it. I didn't care. I just took it. Ibiza's back. Giving out flagging. Place was packed. 2 floors. The old people turned up. Like them. They have a good party, mate. Boom. Anyway, I keep seeing these weird people turning up from walking over there. Yeah, I'm looking for 0-0. I said, it's me, 0-0. So that's up the road, mate. 0-0, that's up the road. Loads of people. I don't know where they're coming from, looking for 0-0. And it's in here.
0-0 was one of mine.
I know, but then it was Danny. And
I was going to say, weren't we?
no, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. No, but the funny thing, you didn't. It was Danny with you.
I did.
I'm Brian in the roller.
Say they did get the answer for me because I did end my situation with them.
Right.
And I pretty much said, like, Dan, can't have you around me no more.
Right, okay.
Not interested.
Right, okay.
Business partnership over, whatever.
Right.
Danny weren't a little fella.
Yeah, that was.
I did have a big event.
Listen, that was 88 Christmas, 89, into the 90s. That was New Year's. That was New Year's.
It wasn't far, around that time.
It was around that time. And what happened was they came up in a roller. They remember my man used to drive a roller. Brian used to drive that roller.
Turquoise.
Yeah, that roller. So I went in the back of the roller with him and goes, what's the fucking going on? Go, oh, you're doing this party, and we brought all the punters down the Tottenham people, and we want some money. I go, fuck off, all right? Because when I was inside, you was doing pies under Ibiza. Where's my fucking money? That time I'm tonks now. I just come out of prison. I'm a bit fucking big as them lot now. I said, get the fuck out. Get me out the back of the roller. Fuck off. I got out of the roller and slow going, fuck off. You ain't getting no money. Going, fuck off.
And then he got involved, didn't he?
Who that?
Danny. He got involved, and that was the end of him.
Yeah, I finished. After that, he started fucking around with the gear.
Yeah, once I bumped into him in Bethnal Green, and I struggled to.
I saw him in your gaff.
It disappeared. He'd
I saw
gone
him
from
in
big
your
man.
gaff. Yeah, I saw him in your gaff in the fucking toilets. I said, who's that? Yes, Papa. You ain't got that word. Yes, Papa. Yes, Papa. I said, Papa, blood clot. Look on you. It's Danny.
It was because of that we drew the line on.
Yeah, he went so Marley. He went so skin in the boot.
Disappeared. That's
Disappeared.
Right.
The man was
being a big
stone.
Security at Security at Spectrum.
He was big, man.
Who say?
Danny Wignall.
Who Danny talked that? He used to do it for me. Danny did at journey parties we done in Leaside Road.
That's what I mean. I've done Birmingham. Man. He came out. British champion.
Kearney firm, did he?
That's it. British champion, weightlifting, big as a pig. When he
come from over here, Wood Green.
Yeah, I'm not round the back of that's right here.
Yeah.
Literally round here. His mum lives round here and his dad. Yeah, literally round the corner here. I picked him up from prison.
That's him.
Yeah, but I'm going to show about the rave game. I got him into the rave game, you know. You didn't know nothing about the rave game because I came out when he was doing birds. So came out, I picked him up. My fucking car went like this. Sideways. There's the weight of it.
He done that to me in a Mini once. I was in a Mini and he got in the Mini and the Mini went like that.
Yes, what you fucking eating, bro?
I'll never forget that.
Danny, man. That's Danny, man. You got to calm down out here, bro. Yeah, no. Come on, I'll bring you in. And that's it. He was in.
Mad, isn't it?
It's small world.
You got some great stories out of this one, ain't you?
There's some stories and our thing there.
There's some deep
there's some great stories though.
The whole thing revolves around him and it revolves around this guy here and
it's real history you've got here.
You're right, it's true.
And it's a wonderful thing because
I'm glad I met you.
Yeah, so am I, my brother. And it's a wonderful thing because what it is, as I keep saying, this history cannot be mistold. It's got to be told, and it's got to be as it really happened. Do you know what I mean? And people that deserve credit for it, they've never been mentioned. And there was all the Dulskis and there was all the Shakespeares, and when it was up and down the place, the Jack Ramadans. You know what I mean?
But parties you had to fight for to make happen.
Yes, of course.
So plan, there was no written rule book. There was
None.
no method execution,
None.
whatever you
None.
want to call it.
No.
It was like ad lib.
It was
True.
And then if you party, to me, I always had it in my head that if your party reached the morning,
You're right.
you're done all right.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you put into it, then that's really down to you. But the fact that so many parties started to get stopped from about April, May onwards, and each week it felt like they got more adept and clued up, and they had more stuff on their side to stop you.
Yeah. No, it's getting harder and
I
harder and
remember
harder.
you would print out false documents,
Yeah,
insurance
it's getting
documents,
harder.
leasing, all crap. And in the end, they go,
No, they do all that.
you got 20 minutes to shinnick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was all over there.
It's funny because at first, you can blame me. So, tell you who brought us it, Tony Colstonator. I mean, he was the top. Remember Tony's history?
Yeah.
This guy, right, was a professional gambler, right?
I
So he
know.
used to go into casinos in disguise. He was a very clever man.
And he was
right?
banned from all
so
the casinos.
he could talk. I'll never forget when we took the Leaside Road. The police turned up. It was New Year's Eve. And the police turned up. He was already upset about the whole thing. And he's turned up and he said, this is legal warehouse. But he's gone, right, I'm going to go get the fire inspector, right? And I thought, the fire inspector, that's us finished. And what we done was, fire sign, we had a bit of paper and we got a new, what do you call it, ultraviolet spray and for exit, right? No battery, no backup, nothing like that. We had about 25, 30 bags of old tins and rubbish. We took them out the back door and literally threw them all on this alley by the fire escape, the real fire. You'd never get past it. Right, had it packed. He's come back about 20 minutes later. He come from Hackney police station. That was open at the time. He had Hackney and Homet and the fire station. He's come back with the inspector. When he's come back with the inspector's walked in, but he looked like he had yump, like he'd come out, they've called him out of his own Christmas party. Do you know what I mean? He's walked in now and he's literally just flanked it, right? And I'm talking to the door. I've pulled the door and I think if you turn your head to the right, there's just a man in a black bag. No one could ever escape out of that. He's gone there. He's walked back round, gone to the cozzer, gone, fine, they can have their party.
That's it.
You should have seen the cozzer's face.
Vex.
And then what happened was, we went on, that was the New Year's Eve one. We done it again next week and then gutted. During the week, when we're setting up to go again, police car pulls up and says, you're actually squatting. The person who has this warehouse, who you got it from, he squatted it from someone else. So that was the end of it. And then that night, I'll never forget it, the party was going to happen that weekend. We had all the flyers printed and the police waited outside Mount Pleasant Leaside Road and was giving out flyers with the new directions for the another legal warehouse we just broken into up the road to the punters because they didn't want all the people congregating around the warehouse.
Right,
We had
gotcha.
2 pound of police cars with 4 uniform police giving out flyers for an illegal rave.
I remember coming out of there about lunchtime. And I was like, how do I get home from here?
That was mental.
It was something else. I mean, so many people,
That was mad.
and everyone who I'd run across during the previous time, they were there.
It was
Everybody there.
Everybody.
It was something else. It was something else.
But I remember the people as well. There's one figure there. Tamara knew them all. She'd brought Fat Tony, he played down there, and you had Minnie Vanelli come down there. Addy brought them down there New Year's Eve. And then Boy George at the time, he was going through.
Yeah, I remember Boy George,
right?
yeah, but I remember
Anyway,
he was running around in the
in
ring.
the party, and I've seen the doorman. Actually, Danny, tell her lie, Danny come up to me, and I see this geezer getting dragged out of there across the floor, and he's gone. There's a guy getting kicked out of there, and Tamara's gone. That's Boy George. I've gone, what? She's gone, that's George they're ruffling up, right? So I'm run over there.
Help him out.
I'm not kidding you. They dragged him, must have been about 15 yards, right, across the warehouse floor, across all the lemonade and the Coca-Cola, and literally just left him on the side of the door. And I'm like, I can't believe it. Tamara's gone to me, you can't do this to George, you can't do this. Anyway, so she's got him, ruffled him up. Patrick, we sat Boy George beside where we had the table where we was taking the money. We plotted him there in the corner, half unconscious, with Patrick beside me at one end and Tamara on the other side propping him up. Do you know what I mean?
Do you
couldn't have
remember,
done it.
I can't for the life of me remember the date, but that Patrick, do you remember when he got his hands on the Hippodrome?
Well, the bag
That
thing,
night.
well, listen to this one, and that will come
I
about.
went to that.
But
Let's
if it's
say-
got the John one.
Unreal.
Well, let me tell that one happened,
Why
right?
done Leicester Square, that one?
There's the square, but the story behind that one, you'll love this one. So it was Jeremy Taylor and Tintin. That's who Patrick introduced you to them two, right?
Right,
This was
right.
preceding Energy. Anyway, they said they were at the party, so I said, okay, bang. So I was, again, me and Encore, that was another sound used to use with Tom in Camden, we're going to do the sound. So we turned up at this warehouse in, it was an old carpet factory. Where is it? Oh, God. Uxbridge, right? Anyway, so when we've got there now, we've had the sound system set up in the inside, but he's advertised it as the mystery tour, right? And they've got the television doing a documentary about it. Anyway, so when we got there, I've gone outside. There's all these people outside now, and of course they're not letting anyone come in the warehouse. So I'm like, right, being me, I've gone right to the front of the queue. I'm like, come on, we're going to steam our way through. The police like another ride. Everyone's behind me. Yeah, come on. Anyway, all of a sudden, police has come. I've went into the police, right? Everyone that was behind me has turned the other way and run that direction and grabbed me, beat the shit out of me. It was, do you remember Milton? Big Milton, he stood at the door. So Milton started going looking for me at the police station. Anyway, long story short, as soon as it happened, Jeremy Taylor back then, it was his first party, remember? He used to do the Gatecrasher Ball with Eddie Davenport before then. So he had a cherry BMW at the time. All you see was smoke and lights taking off, right? When the police is dragging me. Anyway, so that was the first turnout. Then he's come back to the warehouse. So Don and I think it was Fitzroy and Lyndon said, we can get a warehouse. Anyway, it's old snooker on Mare Street, and that's what I told you about the mosque. It was either a synagogue or a mosque next door to it. When we couldn't get the snooker roll, we cut the chain off to have the rave one in there. Right? Anyway, the police kicked us off of there, and he was so caught up with all his tickets he'd sold, he went and spoke to, because he knew Peter Stringfellow, because of the Gatecrasher Ball. Anyway, he's convinced Stringfellow to give it on a Wednesday night. So what he's then done is Stringfellow thinking I'm going to, make a killing because it was all posh people, went to the string and all that. He took a penny at the door at the bar.
I remember
it was
that.
the worst night's taking ever.
That was the person who done the guest list.
Oh, my God.
Downstairs. I remember going in there and all their people had all the girls with all the stuff on and all that, the areas where you had to pay, you sit down.
Oh, the private queue.
People was puking up.
Listen, Stringfellow had that club. It was his starship, that was, right? And it's 1988, this was as well. This was in 1988, this was an early one.
They shut the areas.
It's Sonia the Mystery Tour, right? Search of Space, it was called originally, right?
That's it.
And it's turned out, his bar takings was the worst bar takings in the history of the club. Right? And then he's gone on Jeremy and Tintin for it, basically. Long story short, though, that was the birth of Energy.
Right.
Oh, wow. That was the birth of Energy.
I remember.
That was birth of Energy.
I remember I was in this Hippodrome and I was in the VIP bit and I remember this flower pot next to me and I felt it coming. I think that was my memory of the Hippodrome.
Because it was hot in there.
And I was like, it was a Wednesday night and it was about 1,000 people in there, all of them off their face. And I couldn't believe where I was at that Patrick who
So Patrick, he introduced me to them. So again, this guy's name should be with the whole thing. Because all these West End people, Tony Colstonator, Tintin, Jeremy Taylor, they were never going to come down to East London or North London and meet the likes of us. That was never going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Never.
Never.
No, I agree with that.
I agree. I was wondering where all these posh people come from.
That's where it's come from.
I mean, it all makes sense.
The Hippodrome, I won't ever forget.
That was a night, though. That was
unbelievable.
On a Wednesday.
But they were
mad old times for you.
Crazy times, mate.
Yeah, it's mad how you can all remember certain different things. That was the thing that I said, wasn't it? That I really wanted to do, like your memories of different things.
And
then
the party that Andy remembered, I never really counted that in me because that
was your first party, Joe.
When would that have been? August 88, something like that?
That was, I'll tell you it was, but it was before August end of August. I'll tell you it was. So the 5th was Acid Zone. Sorry, the 5th was Cleveland Way. The 6th was Acid Zone.
Cleveland,
Then
Labrynth,
week after that was 2 weeks after that was the tiny one at Bermondsey Street, and the following day I walked the Scat
Friday,
out.
Saturday.
And
You were
2
knowing
weeks
it.
after the
You were the
Scat.
sound. You're the sound.
So you would every single one of them.
You was booking
Every one of them.
a night.
I never counted it because
That was the first party.
Right.
The first
Gotcha.
party.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
How did you remember that? Do you think?
My memory, everything. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing I drop. If I drop
When
something
you
from
said
my mind,
you know, John the Butcher, I was like,
Yeah.
Isabel.
John Murphy, yeah.
But you
lived on
you
Rave
had a
Story,
clearer
yeah.
thing of it than me.
Yeah.
But when I think back about it, I do remember doing one round the back of Selby Street somewhere.
Yeah.
And I do remember it getting stopped. And I do remember it Bethnal Green Police, and they weren't adding nothing in Cathedral. No, you couldn't fart there without them wanting to shut you down. So, you know what I mean? That was how it was then.
Well, what was happening, I'll tell you what was happening then, to give you one better than that, to get the police away from it, we was phoning up the police station and reporting a break-in
Somewhere else.
right on the other side. So I was trying to call the police
Yeah,
out of the local station to get so we could get set up in there.
Yeah. We used to pay him. Him used to pay.
Bethnal Green was ruthless.
Nah, we used to pay King's Cross.
They wasn't easy, old Bill, I'm telling you.
Nah. We paid them. And in the end, when the Acid Squad came to us, we didn't know at the time. So we fucking paid you. What are you doing here? We paid you. We're not from King's Cross, by the way. We're a different unit. Oh,
Yeah, no, it was them.
Mate,
When was it Dace Road? We had 5 or 6 weeks
different,
there.
we're
right?
different unit. Oh,
It was them with shutters.
But the thing was mad with Hackney because we got to understand it was the opposite of Hackney. I'll tell you from why. Suddenly, they was used to, you know, shebeens, blue dancers,
right.
and they
All
were
of a sudden,
scared of the fighting and the trouble. When they saw these white kids coming down to Hackney, the police were thinking, you know what? And they getting Tony Costaner at the door, this posh, well-spoken white guy. It's a different mindset for them.
It was.
Hackney police was actually all right with us. Do you know what I mean? Because they're so heavy.
And Town Hamlet were good as well, that block.
Because this, remember this.
Must have had an effect on crime and stuff, because I would imagine
Listen,
If it went
big parties would mean
no more crime.
They saw it. They was all. Everyone was at one place,
One place.
time together.
Yeah.
It was monitorable, and that's why they didn't close them down in once. They didn't want everyone spilling out of there.
Into the
They
streets.
organically let them empty, right? But the maddest thing was Stoke Newton Police Station had the most, and I remember this from a kid, was the most dangerous, fucking lethal, the amount of deaths in custody. Try to tell you this. When we used to nick chipboard to make the speaker boxes, you used to carry them back for the back streets.
Right.
If the SPG got you,
you're
you
gone.
were finished. This was a mattress beating. They'd throw you in a cell. We ain't even of a legal age, 15, 16 years old.
Right,
They'd
gotcha.
get that mattress,
Gotcha.
about 4 of them have truncheons, and they would smash the shit out of you through that truncheon. Literally roll you out on the street unconscious. It was a lethal time. Newton went through a lot of shit with it.
I know.
With Stoke Newton Hackney police. I mean, like, you couldn't imagine. But white kids, they want to know. They do what they want to do. That was it. You know.
Do you think the tabloids mentioning it so much really made it come on top even more? That they
But the old Bill know what was going on, you mean?
yeah. So with the old Bill,
Well, I came out of Astoria when they had the trip. When they had the trip in Astoria and they shut, and then people, oh, where's the after party? People wanted to rave. So I'm going, come down the YMCA across the road, down in the fucking car park. Fuck them.
Remember that YMCA
Yeah, remember?
place?
Down in the wine. No, the boot.
Grove, innit?
Yeah, across the road. Just literally across the road. Some kid up with the boot, music was playing. The whole rave, everyone was in the trip was down in the car
That's
park.
what's happened.
Raving, just raving. The old Bill turned out and watching it. Didn't know what.
tell ya.
Yeah, they're watching it
Remember
all. The
Monday nights outside on Spectrum, that little road.
That was the one with Monday night, just that. So you
little strip there,
Yeah,
just
that's
waving
right.
in the street.
would go there, speeches. I
Same old
Monday night,
And that's why I made me got my big speakers and done the same. And they all
Man.
fans a car without rate. That's like what back in there.
That was the icing on the weekend, that Monday night.
mate. That was it, wasn't it? That
Different
Monday
party.
yeah,
I
Monday
used to
night
love that.
Spectrum.
Sunday night,
Yeah.
we would go to that confusion place.
Yeah.
Once we found that, we would try to go there every week.
Yeah.
That is something else as well.
Unreal way.
Even he was there with his rappers.
Thursday, innit? Friday.
Yeah. Then the weekend, obviously, like Friday night, if you can find one, Saturday, you've got to find one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was, that was what I lived for.
Man, I wasn't really underestimated about. I
the rat packs raves, all these little, I found rat packs.
Do you remember the swimming pool?
Yeah. Remember all that?
To me, that was
the
to get down in the swimming pool. It was hysterical. Like, what am I doing here?
What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah,
Like a little step, you go down to the pool and they were dancing and I'm sleeping around the side.
Rat Pack, because it also had that fellow Robert who ran,
yeah.
and it had Frankie Valentine,
Frankie
and then Steve Jackson.
That's right.
It wasn't just the two pieces. It was a whole thing. The sound.
The rap, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's when I first saw an MC on the mic then. Like,
He's the first MC or MC.
spitting that style, that ragamuffin style on the mic.
Yeah.
What the fuck, who's that? That made me think, I'll have some of this.
Man, it was Emerson.
Yeah, I mean,
But then two always got facing me upwards.
Yeah, good man.
To start up, they helped me get going.
I fight with him. I mean, the only thing was fighting each other, but we was working for the same guy. The gangster guy I was telling you about, Gilbert Withers. I mean,
Gil?
Yeah, I thought Gil was. Yeah, Gilbert was my mate, my boy. My boy's my mate. He looked after me. But he looked after Rat Pack as well.
We used to call Gil is the stick. We called Gil, but he was a good friend.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, the Walton stick.
And
he's the one who got me the King's Cross. He's the one who got me King's Cross.
that makes sense. Yeah,
He got me. Yeah, good. Yeah, he's the one who got me that. And Rat Pack, all little warehouse Rat Pack had. The fucking field, Gil was getting him for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I remember
Yeah,
but
Gil
you
were
always
RIP.
have them two.
yeah, them two.
You remember them two?
Remember those two DJs? Yeah,
My boys, I've fucking
Yeah.
I found them. Yeah, no name. What's your name? Oh, they've got a name. Because
That's
a lot of
right,
people just come up and buzzing out there.
brothers, wasn't they brothers?
No, Dean and Darren. Dean and Darren. One was a hairdresser, and one one was a hairdresser, and the other one, where his dad was one of them brewery wine. When you go to his house, he's the wine in his ass. Rich people, fucking rich.
There were some characters. What some of the
Come on.
characters? There were characters out there.
How about
Unbelievable.
Paz? You remember Paz, the designer, the flyers?
Pez.
Who?
Pez,
No,
yeah, no,
I
remember.
used to do that. I used to use Clearprint on Dalston Island. I used Clearprint from 1982. That's when I started the blues parties.
Right.
Get them printed. All the face.
I got Clearprint.
Going in there.
You might know my uncle, Rob. He does a printing as well in Tottenham, High Road, Bruce Grove. No, it was more.
Where was that shop?
Bruce Grove? You
I
might
seem to
do.
remember the early days, getting somewhere around Stoke or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I know Clearprint.
What for the flyer? What flyers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
On the high street. That's
Yeah.
Clearprint.
Clearprint. I remember Clearprint.
That was I think it was like
Another one rings a
£30
bell like the
for 2000s. That's what it used to be. They were more colour. Then when we went in the first time,
Okay.
he had a book, which was like a pattern book, and he had the face. So the face was what's his name? It's a god of wine, party in ecstasy. That's the actual face of the thing, right?
Okay.
People think it was Zeus. It weren't Zeus, right? Anyway, so I pulled out the face and a little Roman thing we had as well. We stuck with it just for decoration. That's all it was. That's all it was. And then we got rid of the little Roman thing and just left the face on there after a while. But that was a mad one. That was, it's crazy though. When you think about it, no thought went into that. Do you know what I mean? It was a question of going in, picking it out and going bang. And when you look further down, what happened with the flyers, I mean, people were getting top graphic designers working on some of those flyers for energy and all that.
And that's what Energy they learned from us.
You can ask Pez or Junior Totlin or someone like that now to do you a design.
Mental.
It's proper bucks.
But our photo at the time was the state of the art. It was card paper. Most of the paper.
You saw the fly.
Yeah.
Drawn
Hand
like
drawing.
Hand drawing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was looking
no
at
Photoshop.
I was looking at yours, mine, all of us. It was
Mental.
It weren't a 4-colour process, was it? No, 2-colour.
And that thing was though.
They were.
The flyers were the bollocks at the time.
They were.
Fussing,
worked.
something works.
They
Man,
worked.
that's all, yeah, it worked,
Man,
didn't
they
it?
worked, they
Man.
worked.
And all the flat, lasers, never had lasers there.
Nope.
10K turbo sad, all bollocks. If you went nowadays and you've done that, I'll tell you what, they're like,
You get done now, you get done.
You
There
get
was no
locked
turbo,
up
nothing.
for fraud. You've been locked up for fraud.
10K,
Oh,
20K,
God.
all that bollocks.
Mad.
What's the best party each of you think you've put on? Your own personal favourite of all the...
My one's King's Cross. It's got to be that.
Right.
Because that stayed there. We didn't just done one. We stayed there for 4 weeks until they threw us out.
In the old days, I would have most certainly said probably Ferry Lane or maybe even Hercules Road. Ferry Lane's very good. Could you remember we had two long tunnels out here?
Yeah, that was good.
I was in one, you was in the other. But I have to say, Dad, the 30th birthday that I did with you.
Oh yeah,
Where was that?
that was magic.
We'd done an event together.
Yeah,
in 2018. We did the Labrynth 30th birthday.
Down at British
Electric.
that was. I wanted to come to that one.
It was
I really wanted to come. That must have blown you away. That time you just getting back into the scene.
It blew me away.
It wouldn't.
It absolutely. I mean,
would do.
you know, usually I'm full of beans, and but that night, I remember, seeing artists, a damn skip.
Something that would be good for you.
Yeah.
We flew over Fast Eddie.
Fast Eddie,
Did you?
Damski.
Oh, yeah,
Alison in it.
Yeah, we went in. We went in Ragga Twins live, Liquid live, Raging Ones, and Lonely Bristol. Fast Eddie, Alison Limerick. Yeah, Alison. To this day, I still get people saying to me,
That was the best one. I wouldn't have gone.
that was the nut.
Yeah.
When was that, Joe? That was
7 years.
7 years, 8 years. Recent.
recent.
Time.
Yeah,
Wow.
It was good.
Man.
Good. I wanted to go to that one. It was good, man.
It was something else, and considering it was a Friday night,
And
it
the
was
first one you done since then.
it was something else. It really was.
Stars aligned, didn't they?
It rained all day and all night. It was one of them, but it
Man,
still happened.
What was yours, Paul? What would you say the top party you done?
Goodsways.
Good
days, yeah.
What was your favourite?
Leeside Road. It was unstoppable. We done Ferry Lane, which was good and all that. Leeside Road, Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
I don't think
No, that one. That one there.
I don't think that could be.
That one there can't top it,
the
can't top
week
it,
after New Year's.
Can't top it.
The
Can't
7th of
fucking top it.
January.
I was in there.
I don't think there could have been a party.
I was in there.
What it
Pure
was-
smoke.
Trevor
Pure
Fung.
fucking smoke. Listen to this, right? I'm gonna give you a joke. Pure smoke. Tell me, I couldn't see that. What the fuck? Can't see. And suddenly I go, well, that is, mate. And then I went, what? And then disappeared in the smoke.
We had, because what we done
Bouncing
was,
castle
we
in there.
we had all the back, we had two areas around up, right at the back, we had another section, up
Yeah,
the big
yeah.
bouncy castle,
Bouncy
mad up, put their
castle.
sand there, Hans was at the front,
I
but
remember that back bit.
one of the best bits, though, I remember one of the greatest scenes, where you had the scaffolding, we put at the front where the decks was,
Yeah.
Trevor Fung was playing, and that guy had the little drum machine with the sticks,
Yeah,
and as he was playing, the guy was playing the sticks, because the bongos then, he used to be electric drum machine,
I just
and I
remember
went
seeing
there.
you play. And I'm in Leeside
Yeah.
Road. I was off my,
Yeah.
and I remember looking around, thinking, that ain't Andy, is it? And I've got close to him, and I thought, oh. And I didn't know you was a DJ as
Yeah,
well.
I used to- I didn't know.
I had you as Andy Genesis. I didn't think for a minute you was going to be playing, and you was. And I'm standing there thinking, I can't believe he's playing. And I mean, in the back room, was the other one? You had Players, Kenny?
We had players. Kenny played all the early ones.
What was the DJ name, though? What was the DJ name back then?
Andy, what Bumper Hustle Andy? I was a Bumper Hustle Rare Groove DJ. That was my thing, weren't it? So when I went into the acid thing,
Okay.
I didn't, to be honest, Jane, I
said, but I
started,
forgot that
but I
morning
didn't follow it through.
Night, morning, whatever time it was.
That's my thing.
That happened to me. I DJ Static.
Yeah.
Phil got nicked. Who's that? Who's fucking running the door at King's Cross then? I don't know what Phil's like. Who's fucking running the Fuck the DJ thing.
Yeah, it's progression, isn't it?
I had to run the door, man. Even though I knew what to do, but I said I had to stop the DJ.
Candy, who's the favourite DJ you've ever booked?
I think, wow, there's been so many DJs that have played as well, at Genesis as well. And
I can imagine.
I'll tell you the truth, I think, who's probably one of the best DJs? Wow. Groove was really good.
Groove Road.
Right, yeah. When he played at our sets.
Have you done a raving? Did you do a rave inside London, Genesis?
No.
I see Groove Rider.
That's where he played. Groove and Fabio Robinson.
Yeah, I know the sound. I went somewhere and Groove Rider was playing at one of the early. I said, I know this guy, Groove Rider.
Kenny Kent played with. Well, actually, Kenny
Kenny
Kent
Kent-
at you first.
No, Kenny
he
Kent-
first played at your set, and then he played with a Genesis when we did have a DJ.
Yeah,
we do from Shinola.
That's
For a
right.
community centre, and Kenny lived around the corner, and he's gone.
That's
He's
right.
got Track Records. So he went and got his Track Records, and he played at Genesis. That was one of his first.
Yeah, he always says that.
But then you had, I think it was a great set. He played Fat Tony, used to play. It was a different kind of set. Trevor Fung was a great DJ. Tony Wilson, he done his Balearic things. Lyndon, you know what, I'm going to be honest? Lyndon C.
Lyndon Seafield.
Lyndon C.
I do remember that. He
Lyndon.
was around everywhere.
Lyndon.
A lot of the best parties he played.
Lyndon was round Derek Boland. That's where they, Derek was an amazing mixer. I mean, he was of a high standard. So Lyndon learned his craft from people like Derek.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, got
And he understood music as well. It was coming from the soulful garage, do you know what I mean? Chicago house kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say Lyndon C.
Who was your favourite you booked, Paul?
Well, back in them days?
Yeah.
God, bloody hell. There were no DJs back then. I would say Darren and them two back then because there weren't no DJ. I'm just saying there weren't no DJ to say, oh, there was none.
Yeah.
They were learning the craft at the time. So to me, there was no DJ, but I did sort of fall in love with Groove Up or something. It's just, it's stuck in my head. Yeah, but them two, Darren and Dean, around that time with my boys.
What about you, Joe? The early part, I suppose. Yeah, I will always have a place in my heart for Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
And I loved him. Me and Sue both loved him. We would drive around. We followed him one night from Averley to here to the Isle of Dogs when they come through the scene in to get him. You know what I mean? All these different places. We loved it, Wilson to bits.
Right.
And then I like that Emix fella down at Confusion. I really used to look forward to that. I mean, you know, over the years, it would be really, really difficult to pick out anyone who I thought was such as I, but my memories of being grateful were like yourself, Ginge, Adrian, Vinyl Matt, Easy Mo, these DJs who no one had really heard of, who made 12 Dalston Lane happen. Because without you lot, 12 Dalston Lane wouldn't have happened. I couldn't have gone out and got Fabio and Group we was on the floor. When we started, we was on the floor. Could just come through an hour in time with Plod, shutting down all our parties. We'd just gone into the Aces. What are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
And you lot,
They done it. Done a great thing.
done the business. Done it absolutely.
They done great things, man.
And you lot,
They done
as
great
much
things.
responsible for putting 12 Dalston on name on the act as I am. I might have name on the pavement. Your name will always be covered.
Seriously, man.
Come on.
If anything you put in your life, put that in there.
And you still do it now?
Do the Aces. All it had been through. You know, I'm coming from a long way back.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
years and years.
yeah you are.
When you landed at the Aces,
That's true.
changed my friend Newton's life.
Did it?
Because was exhausted. The police had no drink license. You know, he had years and years of this, right? And it had been constant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine.
The police kicking off the door, banging off the door, going in.
Raided him.
When
raided him.
Labyrinth arrived at 12 Dalston
Let them
Lane,
alone.
they didn't know what to do.
January
Right?
1990.
It was a PR headache for them. If they went in there and started smashing off the door,
Yeah.
beating those kids up, it worked in the world.
Our kids.
Do you know what I mean? Different ball game.
Different ball game. All their bill in the newspaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they couldn't trouble each other.
And he used to sit upstairs in his room. He had all the little TV screens.
Yeah.
All these cameras. He used to put all these cameras.
We used to shout here and here. Once we got to know, we'd shout here and watch it. We'd be watching people, seeing what they was doing.
And he'd be sitting
The
up
first
there.
place I ever knew had TV was doing
Everywhere.
everywhere.
And the police could do nothing. They couldn't touch it. They could not touch that place. Do you know what I mean? I know you said you had 2 incidents there, but
Even then, 2 raids, he won both the cases.
yeah,
You know, they both had to come back and say no further action.
yeah, because he was a very, you know, you know Newton? You must have known.
Yeah, of
you met
course,
Newton.
yeah.
Because Newton was a very, you know, intrinsic man. He understood lots of things of that. And I remember there was a bad incident there one day when I told you some of it's in the book. A guy ended up getting tortured in the basement. Anyway, long story short, poor Newton was upstairs sleeping in his upstairs in his thing. And when the police all turned up because the guy was screaming and people in the bus stop could hear the noise, police is called, they've turned up at the door, and of course they have it as going in armed police and shooting people. So they pulled the door, nicked us all, I didn't realise he was in the building. So they've gone up there, pulled him out of his bed in his underpants, took him out on Dalston Lane, and then on top of that, after the rest of us all of us got our clothes back, no one was giving evidence, they let Newton out in a forensic white suit Saturday morning to walk from Stoneham Police Station back through Village Road Market, the thing. But then he won the case and got £8,000 because
They made him do that.
they nicked him because over the years he had a little jar with some old £1 notes and like all just old money, dodgy money that people had tried to get into the club. And they'd done him for a counterfeit money. They hated him, do you know what I mean?
They weren't happy with him, man.
He got £8,000 compensation for it, though, so it was at that side.
He once showed me the photographs. He was one of the first people of colour to ever become a Freemason.
Yeah, no,
And he showed me the photographs one day. I was astounded. I'm like, what? And then I twigged.
Yeah.
Then I knew how he got the license.
Yeah.
Then I knew how he survived because he was obviously a very well thought of and clever man.
He was with local lodge as well, and he also, I don't know if he was a Buffalo as well, because Buffalo Lodge, my grandfather used to be part of, used to be on State High Street above a pub and that, but I'm pretty sure Newton was also
photos of the Freemason stuff. I couldn't believe the eyes. He had great big black and white photos. Like, what?
Yeah.
How's that happen? But, you know, it obviously did.
Yeah. He used to blow me away that we had the music so loud, and there was all houses behind the venue, and it was literally from here to that over there, the first day, and not a single complaint. Imagine that now, like the Thursday night party.
Get shut down in.
And that was a Thursday night party we did, and that ended up in the paper where it said they could hear it in Islington. And the people wanted to, because it was a Halloween party, the people who had made the complaints wanted to shove a stake through one of our arts.
Right.
And there was I've got the Hackney Gazette thing where they published it and whatever, but it was the only time I ever come across, and we would be, I mean, that system we had in there
It was mental.
Come on.
But the thing is, Friday night, sometimes we'd leave there on Sunday night.
Well, you stayed the whole.
To lock it. No, I'm just thinking to myself, we didn't need to go home, even though we did go home for 3 or 4 hours sleep in between Friday and Saturday night.
Come back.
I wondered, what did Newton think of all that
He
game?
used to go, listen, remember Newton, that club, as I said, went through things. I remember back in the very early 80s, it had such a reputation that no one would even go in the sound system. And he actually, Newton, physically, didn't want to, he would never close it, had to open, no matter what the music had to play. And he was literally, had the system set up beside with a little, when you come through the door,
small,
there's
it's
a
quite
little
small.
screen,
Yeah.
basically, where you put the money through, and a little trap door that let you into it. He had the sound set up to the right, and he had the thing, you had 1 or 2 stragglers coming in, he'd put the record on, go into the till thing,
Put the
make
money.
and
then
have
come
a
back.
little makeshift bar.
Yeah,
So
and
it was like one-man band trying to do all things. He couldn't invent it. Do you know what I mean? But that was his home. And I say home, he didn't live there. He did live there.
He did.
His life was spent there.
He lived
You know what I mean?
upstairs. He
You know,
lived
and
there.
when they closed that down, I went through all the fight with it when it was going to put the station there. It was going for years and years and years. And you probably know better than me, because you would have been all round that.
We tried to fight it, but
you know,
once we saw the plans, and we even saw that they were going to call it Dunbar, Collins and Labrynth Towers. That was already done and dusted, and we saw that 5 years before it actually happened.
But so we knew that we were going to lose. To be honest, the other day when I went down to that thing, Joe, when they put the stone.
Oh, the placard.
Yeah, I went there by there the other day, funny enough, to show someone.
The placard.
And they put, Joe's got a stone there, Newton has, Watson has, Chicken has, you know, and Brighton's got a stone there. You know, Collins. The stones are his marks, the stones are there, and they'll be there forever. Because that place, as I said, was a landmark.
Well, they've asked me to do another one this year.
Really?
Well, that's done.
There's another 10 names going on.
Are there? See,
Jimmy Ruffin.
Yeah, Jimmy Ruffin played there,
All the people who have played there.
Yeah,
So
Benny King.
Just having his name, Benny King.
It's a wonderful history.
Just have their names.
See, again, recording history the right way. It's so important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so important. Some blue plaques should have been on some of those.
I went back there just to make sure it was there. I was like, really? I'm sure someone's going to come take it away next week. But
no, that's there.
No, it's there for life. I've seen it. It's there. It's there for life, you know, man. I mean, it's part of foundation, brother.
So whether you like it or not, whether I like game against the history.
That's right. That's right. It is.
Yeah, it's a big old V, isn't it?
Come on.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been. I mean, it's been
I
there.
haven't changed that much of it.
No, I mean, it's still here. It's still here.
Paul and Joe, what makes you keep promoting?
Me, has become a part of my life now. It's like, because I've got no choice, but it's part of my life. If I don't do a part, I get miserable. You know, if I don't do a fucking party, I get upset. Has to have a party. We have to have a party. Don't care what it is. Roots. It could be garage, roots.
I just like inventing parties, like MT Convention. I do ABBA now. I promote ABBA Shanty. Yeah, I do ABBA. I moved into that.
Okay, you moved across.
Yeah. I'm ABBA Shanty's promoter now, so I do ABBA Shanty. You got Channel One, you got ABBA. I still got Jungle Splash. I still got my labels. Labels still running. I just bought myself a T5 S60. Make my own dub plates now. I'm not leading.
So you're deep in it.
Yeah. I'm not. We've done so much. We've done so. To me, to walk away from it now is like suicide. And my son, damn fascinated. Dad,
Well, that's the one. Isn't it?
one thing I've not told my son who I am. I won't. I just won't tell my kids. I won't tell them. I want to find out for themselves to come back and tell me. I've never told my son nothing. He's come back and goes, Dad, you never told me you were this. You never told me you was that. Now he's hearing my name. He's going, Dad, you're somebody. But I didn't know. Well, I'm not going to tell you, son. I want you to go out and see if it comes back. See if this room comes back to me. And he had to look. Say, now you heard it from other people. That you had
You've
that.
got to give them sharing history, man, and most
No, I do, man.
knowledge on.
No, I do now. I mean, now he's around me a lot now, and he wants to learn. And I'm talking to him now, and he's taking it all in. He's taking it all in now. He's taking it in now. So
Yeah, good.
he's taking it now.
Why do you still promote, Joe?
I think that the bankruptcy when it came along, they hit me for 1.25 million.
Who did?
Customs and excise.
Well, for the voice pie that you have.
They said I owed the duty from 88 to 94. And after a long and protracted court case and a lot of shit that went with it, the long and the short of it was is I was found not guilty of any criminal offences. But then they came at me and they made me bankrupt civilly. And I don't know if you know the difference between civil and criminal is that I couldn't get any legal aid to fight the civil bankruptcy, so I had to put my hands up. So I had to do 6 years of being a bankrupt. No bank account, no this, no that, can't file, can't do nothing.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
So
been there.
that sort of 7 years, 7.5 year gap that I had was like putting myself together, like getting myself back to normal, as it were. But all the way through that, even from day one, I couldn't put on a party even if I wanted to, and I did want to. But then, that time, that 7.5 years, at the end of that, I couldn't wait. And then to have actually gone to Hidden, rammed it and rammed it again, and then, going, Crucifix Lane, going, eventually the calls, and then, we go from the calls.
I remember the cause.
And then, doing the party with how could I not want to do that? Come on, man. It was, you know what I mean? And the other thing you said about your kids and that, like my son Jake now, very, 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 very proud of him. He's moved to Utrecht in the Netherlands. He promotes his own events out there.
Wicked.
He's now on event number 4 or 5. Sold out. I found out yesterday, sold out 1,000 plus.
What?
So,
He's done it.
that's in May. So I'm going to do my best to get out there.
Nice.
If that runs in the family, I'm a very happy man. Very proud of him and what he's done. And I could not have a better son.
Yeah. Well done.
Good.
Well, how about yourself?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I don't know. Let's see.
Paul's desperate for one more Genesis. They're back on the bills now.
Come back out. Yeah. That's all it is. Amnesia House, they're all back out. Everybody's back out at 88. You're the original from London, so
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how it goes.
I won't hesitate. I'll get out of bed for you, mate.
Me too. I hope you as well, man.
I mean that.
I'll show you. I learned. I know you know. I know you're not stupid. I can see that you're.
Maybe we'll have a go.
Listen, you're a clever guy.
Maybe we'll have a go.
You're a clever guy. You know what's going on.
Your boys spoke about
You got this.
getting involved with promoting, and they.
Well, all the thing, everything my mum used to say to me, she was like, the sound system, the music, and I used to always be like, getting us with a struggle getting through to it anyway. And now I'm going through it with my son. Because every plug in the house, everything's missing. He's got his decks there. He's got speakers there funded away to the living room. I'm thinking myself, what have I done? But so it's in your blood.
It's in the blood.
Okay. And it's passed on, and as I said, if he seriously wants to get involved in the game, I'm going 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm going to,
that's one more Genesis. That's for one more big Genesis for the people like us who was there, you know what I mean? Bring back some memories.
Yeah, because you loved Genesis, didn't you? You even said on your podcast
Yeah.
Oh,
the
maybe
other-
we should, they should throw it in the comments, see if people want to.
Yeah, I'm pretty-
follow them.
They will.
Let's see.
They will, man. They will.
Yeah.
People will, man. Because you're the first.
We'll give it.
The London, you're the first. You're the first.
Without a
man.
doubt.
Come on, bro. You're the first, man.
You know what? The only thing that held me from it was when I saw how the scene was going, and I didn't want to. You've got a memory of something which is great. I didn't want that memory to ever be spoiled, and that's the reason why I paused and stopped.
Right, gotcha.
And I said to myself, I would come back if I felt it was ready to come back.
I think people have snatched her arm off.
I'll tell you the truth. If you do it, you just
With
bring
mine, there'd be one next month.
Yeah, you just all the old. You want to see the youngsters will come to just to be. They've heard about it, never seen it. But all the older heads will just come out the woodwork for you, bro. They will all come out all just that me all dressed to the fucking.
Without any shadow of a doubt.
That's right.
Let's see. Let's get the phone book out.
What's he got?
Andy, when you took a new direction, right, and you can tell him about the book in a bit, right? Did you look in at the world and see it going into hardcore and jungle and not be?
Oh, yeah,
Did you pay?
Yeah. Where the music changed. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And this is really important because I'm a real kind of a story of music. Well, we would understand this. Anything which is coming from somewhere, which is like, let's say imported, which music was, right?
Right,
Live
right.
music,
Yeah.
see.
Okay.
Eventually, people who are here, who are integral part of that scene, want to create something of their own. And this happened with reggae and Lovers Rock. Lovers Rock was British reggae.
That's right,
Because it was
that's right.
trying to get away around
For Jamaicans, called, yeah.
So it happened there, and then what happened was Lovers Rock was sold back to Jamaica.
That's right. And they were trying to copy.
Deep down I knew, at some point,
Yeah.
someone was going to come up, and there was going to be a British sound coming through. I obviously went on to run Jamaica when you and you started jungle.
Right.
That was inevitable. It's going to happen, all right? And what's again a very interesting thing, it took influence from reggae.
It is.
Right.
It's sound system culture.
From there, I saw what went beyond there was drum and bass, because that is now global.
Yeah.
And the thing is, evolution of music and people will always be something to look for to happen. Do you know what I mean? So, did I think something could happen? The evolution of the music, yes. Do I regret not being a part of it? Jungle and drum and bass. Had I been here, being a reggae enthusiast, 100%.
You would have.
Do you know what I mean? I would have been producing music.
You would.
No question of that.
You would have.
But I wasn't here at that time. So
You carried it on. You carried it on for you.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why you two were here so long with your promotions and not stopping, save for some of us as DJs, because even though the music that come was so different to 88, 89 eventually, we all embraced it and kept moving with it and enjoyed it, whether it went jungle, hardcore,
whatever.
with house. Look at all the different house splits. When he said earlier that, in the end, we'd have 3 or 4 different rooms of music. You went on and put on house events. You had house events running side by side with jungle events.
Yeah, I was doing a thing called Orgasm. With Tall John, Tall, all them lot, Tall. I'd follow that Kinky Linky lot. I did like that Ray. I did like, I'm coming from that era. I said, I can't make that disappear. Even though the jungle was running, I said, I'm from that era. That's me. So I'd done a thing called Orgasm.
brought back.
I brought it back and kept it going in, and I'm putting them in like fancy like Chelsea Football Club, Sugarfoot Lane in Bowls, doing this big party, right? All of a sudden, I had all rich kids following this brand, Orgasm. And they all come from Kensington, Chelsea, and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as I moved into East London, I said, this ain't the same fucking crowd. He said, I'm looking at the crowds like they're raving, but they're all in suits and that. I'm looking. I goes, nah, man, this ain't the same crowd. All the football hooligans, they're all dressed up in booties and suited. So you couldn't recognize it. It's only when a fight broke out and you hear him talk, right? And he goes, give that me a chip. He's fucking looking at my bird. And they're chipping him. I said, listen, you dog, stop fighting. And I realised they're all in this warehouse, but they're having a good time. But it's gangsters dressed up in suits now.
What was going on there was literally everything at its height of intensity. But now everyone's 60 years old.
It's so down.
You're in big ages.
Yeah.
So what was back there
Then it's not now.
was, and it seemed intense as well, because I look at things now with the life I've gone through, and I think, nothing, you know what I mean? Like, what I've seen and, been part of in my life, I think to myself, that's not an issue. That was never an issue. But I think it was so intense on a Peace and Love buzz. When there was an incident that happened, it seemed probably 50 times worse than it was, you know? Well, that was my experience. I can't say for anyone else because other people may have had worse experiences.
Yeah, right.
You know?
So,
In hindsight, looking back, that where we was on such a peace and love vibe that when there was trouble, it just felt so much more than what it was.
It's a, you know,
it was a big thing. It was.
No, yourself, we was very, very fortunate, certainly at Dalston Lane.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
But the rave scene, but so the cutting Joe, but the rave scene did change.
Yeah.
It became violent towards the end though. It did became that. It wasn't that peace and love at
You,
88.
you mean in 89 it changed towards
89, 94, 90.
Oh, right, you're talking, right, okay. You're talking.
I've been in it. I've been in it. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
from
yeah.
the peace and love to the
Yeah.
Do you think that was a drug start changing?
the crack came in then, the champagne came in then. Because remember,
People's nature and attitude changes with that.
yeah, the whole
You know?
thing changed. The whole games changed. It weren't the same. It just weren't the same. Hooliganism.
yeah, we was very, very fortunate at 12 Dalston Lane.
Because man, you had the football times, the football hooliganism, and then you got the street hooliganism. Because then the football hooliganism, they're different class. Then you got the street element, didn't go football.
No, but we had,
That just robbed everybody.
I think we were very lucky that we had a regular crowd, and a lot of the people, you know this as well, they would be there every week.
Yeah.
And then we half got to know a lot of people, and Terry and the men, they were not an easy group of men to deal with.
Yeah.
So I think we got away with that 8 years where I didn't really have to deal with any of that anymore.
Right, see.
That was left behind in 89, thankfully.
Right. Got,
Because also where it was sitting at, because Dalston Lane
yeah.
is, I tell you what's historic, it's on the crossroads.
You've got a cross, isn't
It's
it?
called the crossroads. And the crossroads is on that junction. You're on Stoke Newton here, right?
That's right.
Into it.
Yeah.
You cross that road, you're in Hackney.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
go
Cross
that
out.
way, you're in Islington. That
Islington.
way's Oxton.
That's right.
So it's always used to be referred to as no man's land.
Oh, no man's land.
Yeah, because anyone, any further from anywhere could turn up there.
Right.
Right.
Islington,
And
Tottenham, anyway.
that's for the Four Aces, and that spot was always
Got you.
the mysterious spot.
Yeah,
Once
right.
you're there though, and you knew the history and what you could call them if you needed it.
Yeah.
It was, it was our Alamo, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? No one's coming in.
No one coming in. No, I know the place.
Coming in, but you will.
Look at that. I know that place.
I get what you're saying though, with like a row or a situation would feel so much more
Yeah,
heightened.
back then.
Because if there was ever a little incident or an incident, because people are peeled up in the rave, and there's of course the word, you know, when the word gets around the rave that there's been something, it gets magnified. And I get what you're and I totally get what you're saying.
Even the worst. I know some incidents where a few people might run in somewhere and chopped a couple of people, what they want with a fight and a glass in. But in a general thing, from where I was coming from going to Phoebe's, where there was a shooting or a stabbing there.
Oh, machete.
Two or three a night.
A machete. Make up a little
Three a
machete.
night. So come here to the woman that's it as. It was,
Pure love.
you know,
Pure love.
she seemed completely different.
No, pure love. Pure love.
As I
Peace
said-
and love. Pure love.
But
Pure love.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people who do come on though on the pod pool talk about that 94, 95. It's starting to get
Yeah, it got moody.
Troublesome
I mean, I was there.
moody.
And he started, the game changed, the music changed. They weren't the same. They weren't on ease now. They weren't taking ease now. They were moving away from the ease on champagne and crack and other stuff where they were taking. So it became, as they say, moody.
yeah, because with Labrynth you had to work on that, keeping that the vibe
Separate, yeah.
contained.
Well,
I was very fortunate that we
because what's happened, the street, I'm not going to say, but the ghetto elements are now jumping on the rave scene. They're coming into the rave scene. They've heard about this massive thing. They've grown up now. My brother was going, I want to fucking go. But they bring in their fucking street element, their robbing element to the rave. And they weren't taking no ease now, but they're straight, these people. They're just like looking, let's rob everyone. They're just looking, let's rob everyone. Because not on the ease, are they? They're straight. And then looking at the easy picking. He's fucking out of his head.
Yeah.
He's out of his head. Easy picking, rob everyone, and that's what happened. So the whole game changed then.
You two kept it out of your raves.
very fortunate.
Fucking hard done. Yeah. The amount of fights I've had as a promoter trying to keep the rats out of the rave. Yeah.
Keeping the rats out of the rave.
Keep the rats out of the rave, man. Is it? To keep the rats out of the rave. And then I said, fuck it, let the rats in. and just give them a party. That's what happened in the end. I said, let them in and make sure they all give a party.
And they behaved themselves.
And they did. Because I know how to treat them now. But you know what? I was fighting against the rats. But now I said, let them in, give them their party. They want the gear, they want the crack. Make sure they got their champagne. But make sure make sure they got their champagne. Make sure they got certain things. And it kept them at bay. They kept my parties running.
It's a formula.
It's jungle, innit? It worked. I bought the champagne, everybody's sweet. It's sweet, everybody's sweet. I think the champagne, because I know champagne. They fucking rob the bar, they smash the place up, they don't get their drink. So that's how I need to keep them and know who's what firm is running what. Get to know the main man, make sure he's all right, give him a split, make sure his boys are all right. Like, yeah, put him in that little corner over there, my pipe can go on, you know what I mean?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because at the same time, Four Aces was popping and playing hardcore and jungle and house and
everything.
But you kind of managed to keep it out, whereas you understood that. I mean,
I had to let him in
because you're doing one-offs, isn't you? You're
they're gonna rush the door anyway. So they're gonna smash the door down, kick off the front. There's no point me doing that. Let him in and put this. I've got a nice little corner for you guys. Get over there. There's a VIP, and all went in there. A nice 1p. Put tables and chairs, get them sweet, and let them champagne them off, and that's what I did, and it worked. And I mean, otherwise, my fucking party we fucked.
We didn't have that. We didn't have that problem at
No,
all.
you wouldn't now. You wouldn't
saying
though.
part of that reason was for the 8 years that I was there, no booze. Ralph down in the basement used to sell a few cans.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
That was all right. Catered for those who did need, mate. But I have to be honest with you, like it was, it was all soft drinks.
Yeah, and that's right.
If you wanted something, you had to get on the doodle. That was it. There wasn't anything else. And I think most certainly not having champagne and Charlie as the predominant.
Yeah, that'd have brought it.
I've seen it all. On the garage, I've been through the whole thing. The garage, seen fights, guns, shooting, robbing, the whole fucking lot. And then you got the time when the security was doing all that. Now there was the time when they all on fucking and jacking themselves up with steroid and then robbing the punters and fucking, and so they were going around. So there was the era of that, of 1 year of madness with these security men at ours.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Because any normal thinking person in their right mind
Would have fucked it off.
and you are completely insane, and they're probably right, but they've not experienced the buzz of
doing it.
and it popping, and you seeing thousands of people there
No better
living it, loving it. There is no better feeling in the world.
That's right.
Right, there is no drug that can replace that. There is
Party goes off.
you can do really successful.
Like chasing that dragon. Yeah, chasing that bud. You're chasing that bud. You're chasing that bud.
Everything.
I've got one for you all, right? Before you tell us all about your latest projects and events. In that magical year of '89, you've been chased around, you beat the old Bill. Did you used to love getting bang on it in your own event once it was all...
I'll tell you the truth. King's Cross won. The field was gone then, and we used to go home and count the money in like 1 o'clock in the morning, go and count the money in that. And I was in the room. I was the only one counting the money, by the way, and I had the iron board out, and I could all fucking money was soaking wet off of it. So we had loads of money all wet, all fucking wet.
Them fivers.
So when you go, I had to be the ironing board. I used to be in the ironing board. Iron the money. While they was in my flat, all buzzing out the head, I thought to myself, I'm straight. I'm not even buzzing, but I was only one straight. And from that day on, I said, listen, we're gonna. So from there, I started fucking eating and getting involved in it, but any other time we can't keep doing it because we're all out of our fucking heads. And old dude come and staggering out the door. So we stopped it in the end. We stopped it.
Did you had to get on this?
We stopped.
Those parties
We have to stop it.
could not have happened if I wasn't taking these.
Come on, brother.
I'm going to tell you why. The difference was this. You connect and become part of the scene.
Yes.
If you're not connected and part of the scene, the parties will fail.
Yeah.
Any promoter.
Because you're on the same buzz as everybody else. Same buzz, punters.
Right?
You know what's going on.
Punter at your own event.
That's right.
And that is what the secret to success is.
It is.
I stopped doing drugs. I stopped doing parties because I was selling drugs and importing drugs.
Right.
That's why I stopped selling drugs.
Right.
Taking them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's where it stopped to me. Do you understand? But I would say 100% it would have been absolutely impossible if I was not taking these and very much embedded in that whole scene for those parties.
You're right. I always make sure we've got the drunk dealers in there. I make sure they're in there because we need to ease, good ease. We know this party shit. They got shit ease. Everyone's this party. We're having a ride. Ease of colleges. He's selling dodgy ease. Everyone's fine. Oh man, I stop selling the dodgy ease, man. Everyone's fucking fine. Every minute.
That's like early days, man. The early days. I miss them, you know, Joe, because I remember you. There was a little crowd of us, and I kind of, this is preceding the big parties. This was all early. Everybody's flat, so more was flat as anything. You have to keep all the lights and all that. And it was absolutely, I remember one day I had a strike at light, this big tower in Roman Road, where the strobe turned on, flashing it, top floor. Bloody well, everyone's on drugs, the door, bang, 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 police. Everyone's dumped all the drugs down the toilet, flushing all that, police come through. The light. The light was flashing, they thought it was a landing light for London Airport. Fucking plane nearly went
into the building, the tower block.
When you think about a story, I remember the flat right up the top,
right at the very top floor, and I think about stories that I thought of, they're priceless.
Yeah.
You know, what we've done, and you could, you know, was the height of ecstasy. That was the height of enjoyment. That was the height for doing the mad
that early
through warehouses. And I could never be beaten. So for me to replace that,
and
do that again, it would be very difficult.
That's why you don't.
Right beyond the point, he had a saying, right? When he's asked about a Beatles revival, he said, sometimes the memory is better than the reality.
Yeah. I can imagine that.
Although, the early times for me, I mean, do you remember Callie's?
Oh, fucking hell.
To me, that time then, the Callie's, you know, yes, I padded my nose and whatever, but they didn't make me want to have a round, make me want to have a party.
That's right.
And I carry on. So go on the next morning and then go on the next day. And like you say, some of them parties would end up in people's houses all over the place. Still be there Sunday night, Monday morning even some ones. To replicate that, I mean, I would certainly say that, I used to like a lucky dip as well. You know, I'd quite often go out and I'd drive about and everything. Like, God knows what I was thinking. But, that's how it was then. But them caddies was something else, isn't it? You know, and I was very fortunate. Whoa, what's this one? And, it just made me, you know, as you say, a bigger part of the scene. I ain't going nowhere. This is me. I'm here, and I ain't going nowhere.
And it changed me as well. It changed me.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, the football went out the window.
Yeah.
I just sort of seem to remember, what the fuck was you thinking, you fucking idiot? Going up and down the country, meeting absolute strangers who've got a different colour scarf on you and bashing 7 barrels of shit out of them.
You don't even know.
Why would you do that? And then on top of that, I've got nicked, I've got 9 months, I've got this, I've got
Fall for foolishness.
Oh, what was I thinking? I remember now I look back at what I did used to get up to, stupidness. And I've got, when I got banged up by proper villains sitting suddenly, Joe, you got to stop this. What are you doing? They'll give you 3, they'll give you 5. Like, what you do is you're going to go and do something, go and get a pound. And that was when I think it sort of changed. When I was 81, 82, 83, when I stopped, you know, got out, as it were, I got to find something else. And then, you know, a few years go by, and then all of a sudden this thing comes along, and I bump into, like, you know, Andy and lots of other people around Bethnal Green. It just got shelved. Not interested. I don't care, win, lose or draw. I couldn't give a flying. But where's the party? That was it my head.
It all changed.
Here's the fire.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Best thing that ever happened to me, you know, apart from my kids being born, the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Without that.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's the perfect ending. We could go on for hours and hours. And
we're still being into
yeah. Tell us about your coming, your book, Andy, first, then the chapter.
So,
then.
It took 6 years to write. I wrote it from prison. At the time I could really get my thoughts together and dive back in everything, you know? And I had to do it in Borrowed Dirt. The title signifies what it was, you know, all the crime, all the stuff I got involved in. When it comes down to it, it amounted to nothing. You collect all these things and all these things, but the reality of it is, you know, people around you, your family, your friends, your children, they're the real important things. You love. Money, you always chase money. But it's a great historical document I had to do for more than one reason. I had to record the history of this scene and the scene before this scene. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully give a light for people who read it to put all the dots together. Because so many lies have been told.
Yeah.
And so it was imperative to get anyone who wants to challenge it, any word in there, I'm happy for debate. Do you know what I mean? I'll go on any podcast, have any conversation, actually anyone in the world.
No, mate.
Yeah, and if I'm wrong, any detail there, I'll say, oh, sorry, that was a mistake. Not a deliberate lie, a mistake.
But anybody's been in the game will know that Genesis was the first one. So anybody's been in the rave game or actually raved around that time will know Genesis was the first. So anyone come along after that talking bollocks. Talking bollocks.
Where can they get the book?
Amazon, obviously it's available in 3 formats: hardback, paperback and ebook. Amazon, one of the routes. You can get it any major bookshop online, Waterstones, Foils, pretty much anywhere. It's at the moment it's number 1 in true Castle crime.
Wicked.
Amazing.
Wicked. Hey boys, can you see?
He's well happy with his coffee, isn't he, Paul?
Oh yeah, he wrote my name in and everything. Yeah,
He's right.
yeah, he's right. Done my.
Yeah.
See there. Can you all see? Can he put my name in there? Thank you.
Yeah. Paul, what you got? Events,
I got the free parties running at Brixton Jam, as you know. Free parties getting named on the free guest list. That's been going for years for the next generation. So that's every once a month down at Brixton Jam. Also, now I've got the cutting lathe stuff running, the T60. So anybody wants some dub plays, just hit me up.
Are you doing that yourself, Paul?
I got my own machine.
No, but you're mastering it all yourself.
Well, we got the Noise Factory is actually doing it. One of the Noise Factory boys, Terry T, he's actually mastered the whole thing.
Amazing.
So look out for stuff will come from Noise Factory. Got some brilliant stuff coming on 10-inch. So keep it locked.
We've been doing a lot of lathe cut stuff. We've been releasing stuff like limited 100 presses.
I'm
It's a
getting
good buzz.
It's a buzz. It's the same thing like the red game. The music business is exactly the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly the same. You create something new, do something British, and if you can sell it, they buy into it, they love it. I love it. It's all part of the ethos.
Well, it's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of it.
Doing it all as a lifestyle. Joe, your next one.
Still, promoting events. Just done one after another as it feels at the moment. Next one, July the 11th at number 90 Hackney Wick. We do all dayers now because we're all marching on a little bit. But same sort of, a similar sort of thing, Rat Pack and Kenny Ken and Nicky Black Market and Colin Dale and DJ Rap and, the same type of DJs that we've had over the years. Certainly an old school feel to it. And every one of them is like a memory jerker. People turn up, I haven't seen for this amount of years, that amount of years.
That's right.
What else would I do?
Yeah, exactly.
They've been very successful so far. Yeah, onwards and up.
Where can I get tickets?
www.clublabyrinth.co.uk. Lots of tickets available there. And
And we can tell him I'm doing an extended set again. You'll do it last.
he's doing an extended skate like it's last day.
But the thing is, if I don't play for you, people think we've fallen out. Listen to me, right? So last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I did the 2-hour set at the birthday before.
Yeah.
Last year I was that was a fucking nightmare, that whole flight thing, wasn't it? Ibiza and mate, I think we mentioned it anyway on our podcast. But if I don't play for him, people will go under his post and go, "They fallen out."
He's born out of Labrynth.
Yeah.
He's born out.
That's right.
Back in the day, and he was a child.
Yeah, when I saw him
playing at Labrynth. So Labrynth is really his. Do you know what I mean? He'd be your age.
They're very aware of that.
Yeah. All the way.
Yeah, no, it's been.
That's what I remember of Labrynth.
Yeah, there's been a couple that have come out of there. I mean, him and Prodigy, that without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Smashed the granny out of it, haven't they? The pair of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Good in there, mate. Good in there.
That was, I think, that's Prodigy's first gig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was all right.
Hey, look at that. Which of them?
Keith Flint and Ziggy come up to me one night, and I was on one proper. I think I was down in the basement. I weren't even upstairs, and Ziggy starts talking to me about, you know, how many of you are there? And he went, well, there's 4 in the band and 4 dancers. Oh, I'll give you 80 quid. It's bad. And that's how it come about.
Yeah, I heard the story.
Ziggy passed away.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the way to give it. It's terrible.
Terrible. You know what's funny is when we went out of Damski. You know, Adam lived on the corner to where my shop was in Atmore.
Right.
So he become a musician. Lived with a guy called Richard who used to play. Richard played the drums, but he was a what was he called? A magician on Virgin Airlines when he very first opened. And then Adam, I remember we bought the keyboard and he came out of the shop because I used to get Richard Wheat.
Right. Gotcha,
And this was before warehouse parties. But actually, no, it's me.
Right, gotcha.
The next thing I knew when I saw him, he was playing at the parties. I started playing at the parties. But people that come out of the scene, I mean, it was bizarre. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Adam went to #1.
Yeah, you did. Correct. You did.
You know, so people were born out of this scene. I mean,
Congo Night born stores. Yeah, Reverend Sarah C came out the scene. You know what I mean?
yeah, crazy stories.
Seal come out the scene.
Still, of course.
There's loads of people come out of it.
There's loads of people. Chaps. We could make this a regular, you know.
It is. You know what? It's been a memory jerker of the best kind. It's done great. I've now remembered things, and there's 1 or 2 things in the back of my mind. Take further.
Me too.
And without a doubt, lovely.
Nice meeting you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
First time you two have met.
Heard the name.
I've
Never seen him.
heard this man before the podcast. Never met him.
Never met him. I just thought Wayne was Genesis, but I knew there was more than just them. I knew it wasn't just Wayne. There's 3 of them.
But our time, Hercules Road, Black Women's Centre, and 38 years ago.
We done so much, me and Joe. I don't realise, I don't know, me and you done so much together back then. Done parties back then, so yeah, we're part of the foundation, bro.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for locking in. Thank you to our guests. Any memories of their events, leave down below. If you want him to do a party,
please, put a load of comments. Get him out of his man cave, and get this Genesis park. That was the birth of everybody else. So it's in my eyes, it should be out there amongst the.
Without a doubt.
Get his flowers like everybody else.
Without a doubt.
Get your flowers, brother.
One of the most iconic parties this scene.
Yeah. Genesis. Anybody who was back there, it was always, I'm going Genesis. We go Genesis. I'm going Genesis.
Genesis, you ain't a raver.
And then Sunrise come along. So as far as I can say,
They were with us.
yeah, I know they were. I saw it. Sunrise and Genesis. I saw that. That's why I went. So what the hell's going on here? But it was good. It was fun.
Excellent.
Good old days.
brilliant. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, buddy.
That's good old podcast.